if it does. Okay, we are now live. Okay, all the comments. All right, yeah, we can get the comments in here. Has it come up with anything for you?
Nope. Dang.
Hold up.
I'm wondering if it gave you any option or anything. Like, did it tell you to allow guests to do it or something like that?
That's what I'm gonna have to look up now. One sec. Hold up.
Yeah, I'm just a little salty. You had to buy it. If you need me to, man, I cash app you that when we
No,
get
it's
off
all right.
here.
How can guests add YouTube? How can guests stream? How to enable guest destinations. Head to StreamYard and enter studio. Okay, we're in the studio. Click settings, then click guests. Okay, settings, guests. Okay, guests can, yeah, you should be able to do it now. Guests can stream to that.
Yep, I see it. I see it.
So we're good.
Yeah. Let me see.
Okay. So you should be able to go live on yours now, right now.
Yep, I'm doing it.
We'll just get straight in. We won't even.
Are you live right now on YouTube? I don't see you on YouTube.
It should be. It should be. Hold up. Yeah, it says I'm live right now.
Okay. Let me see again.
Yeah, it says I'm live right now. Yes.
You watching it?
No, I'm just seeing if it's working and what it looks like. But yeah, it looks good when you're ready to go.
All right.
Oh, private. Does it say private? Oh, I think hold up.
Okay.
Hold up. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, we're good now. We're good now. I had it on private. We're good now.
Got you. Okay.
Are you live as well?
Mine is on live. Yeah, we on there.
Yeah, it says I'm here. Yeah, I'm live. I got a live around my name.
Yep, I see it.
Let me check yours out. See, that's good as well. And then we can get started. Yeah, you're live as well. All right, we good. Okay. You're tagged on mine as well. Yeah, tagged on mine as well.
Yeah, let me see.
You're actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm gonna have to change my thumbnail and everything. Yo, what's good with y'all, man? I got a couple people join.
Okay. Let me go in the comment.
I kind of just thought of some questions on the fly just for some introduction stuff, you know, since both of our channels, they ain't gonna know who we are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're live now. We're good. We're good to go. We're good to go. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. Okay, we got some people in here already, so
yeah.
All right, so I appreciate everyone who's in the live here today. I'm John with Young and Discipline. He's been growing on YouTube, doing his thing, and We've got him in here for a debate, not really a debate, but more conversation, trying to reach mutual understanding. But I guess you can kind of call it a debate because we're going to have opposing ideas. But I'm glad to be here today. And do you want to introduce yourself?
Yo, what up, y'all? So my name is Young and Disciplined. Everybody call me YND. And on my channel, I'm a dating coach. I teach game. I teach mouthpiece. I also go by the name Mr. No Ass Left Behind. So I'm all about doing what you got to do to get what you're trying to get from the women you're dealing with. Yeah, like he said, I'm gonna have some opposing views in some areas, but I actually think it's gonna be a good discussion, and we'll probably get to a place of mutual understanding. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm a dating coach, and I also try to teach self-improvement and different things for men to be more disciplined in their life so they could just live a more successful, optimal life for themselves.
Okay, and to the people who don't know me who are coming from Young and Disciplines channel, I'm also a dating coach. I became known on YouTube for more so targeting my dating advice to handsome men, but recently I've more so included a more widespread thought where I'm including more people, basically. So that's how I came up originally. I'm from the UK, and I originally came across your video, Handsome Men's Game, and then I seen the things you had to say. You didn't talk about me specifically, but you talked about another YouTuber who makes similar type of content, and it made me some of the stuff I heard in there. I was like, we can have a good conversation if we get together. So that's basically how this has come about. And what specifically, what would you say who do you tailor your videos towards? Is it the average guy? Is it anybody, or is there a specific person you're tailoring your videos towards?
That's a good question. When I started my channel, I watched a lot of videos on YouTube on just how to grow a channel. And one thing that I saw was like the advice that I got was when you make a new channel, you want to start it off as if the other YouTubers don't exist, right? So when I made my channel, and I saw those videos, I made my channel in a way that some guy that's either an incel, meaning he's having a hard time, getting ass and he want to sleep with girls, but he can't, or he can't get the girls that he want, could follow my channel from step one, what I'm saying, always from point A to point B to point C, and be able to go from he don't know what to do to now he know what to do to make himself more attractive, how he can be more confident, how he can socialize and talk better, and then start getting the women that he want, and then also how to close the end and close the deal with those girls. So I would say that depending on where you at in your journey with women, you could go to my channel and get help with anything. I have guys that have given testimonials and they in my Discord group and they more advanced already. So when they found me, I kind of just gave them a little extra push or a little bit more help. You see what I'm saying? So they could close more, right, with the girls they was dealing with. Some guys, they start off, they don't know how to do nothing, right? So they come over here and they watching my stuff for that. So I would say no matter where you at in your journey, you could watch Y&D, you're going to get something from it.
Yeah, from what you just said there, it sounds more so like, and I don't know if you agree or disagree, feel free to share, but it sounds more so like you believe heavily in game, because from what you're saying there, from someone who is potentially an incel, like you said, for him to be able to watch your channel and then be able to start to interact with women and do his thing, etc., it sounds
Yeah.
like you believe heavily in game. Would you agree or disagree?
Oh, I would agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think that's how we got here today, because more so I think your angle with the Handsome Men's Game content, I think where you disagree is that you kind of see game as superior than looks. Do you believe? Am I right in saying so?
As far as what? Because I think there's different stages with women. So if you mean to get in the door to attract, then no, game would not be more important. The way how physically attractive you are and just what she's attracted to with you would be the most important thing.
I would say I'm more so asking from a standpoint of receiving a woman's full submission, which would be eventually sleeping with the woman. So would you
Right.
say it's like what
Yeah,
would you say?
yeah. I would say your game would be more important. I usually break it up. I would say looks is going to be around 30-35% when you're dealing with a woman, just because you need that though to get into the door. But from
Mhm.
there, if your game is ass and you don't know how to talk, then you done. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to play the game with women, I think you're done. You ain't gonna get nothing.
Okay. And with that being said, I'm gonna ask my first question to you. What do you think specifically handsome man's game is? And the reason I'm asking this really is because from watching your video, it kind of came across like you believe handsome man's game is basically we're telling men they can be losers lame, not carry themselves a certain type of way, and they're still going to be able to be successful with women. Like what? That's how it came across to me. So I felt it was important to ask you, what do you think handsome men's game is really?
Yeah, so since I made those videos, I've seen different brothers on YouTube in the space kind of pop up more, or some of them actually kind of interacted with me. Shout out to, I think the brother's name's Noto. Noto content. I saw he does handsome men's game and stuff like that type of videos. And I did watch one of his videos on breaking it down after that, and he had like a different angle. So what I kind of learned real quick, which is it's kind of like this with anything, right? Everybody in handsome that teaches handsome man's game kind of got their own angle. That's what I seen. But as far as my predominant understanding of handsome man's game, I would say, to me, it was a cope message. It was just like, for one, it's like you watching some random dude on YouTube who's claiming he's handsome, right? That's, for one, that's already kind of weird to me. That's just how I looked at it. And then you got a bunch of people in the comments who is just also self-proclaiming to be handsome. And all the videos that I saw was kind of like cope messages. It was a lot of the most popular videos that I've seen in that type of space was videos like why you still get rejected as a handsome man. And when I would watch them, you know, it would be other YouTubers, not you actually. That's why I never named you, because I never saw you make these type of videos from this angle. But a lot of them made videos basically saying like, you know, women, if you attractive and you got high confidence, women, you know, a lot of them, they're gonna reject you because they don't want to deal with guys that look good. They don't want to deal with guys that's confident. They don't want to deal with pre-selected men, you know, all of this stuff. And I just thought it was a load of shit, because the most women, you know, yeah, there's some that's like that, but the typical woman, man, they want a dude that they think look good as hell. They want a dude that's confident. They don't want some loser ass dude. Because my thing is, if that was the case, all these incels that watch us, what the fuck they need us for? You know what I'm saying? They would have been swimming in ass already if it was true that women like low tier type of guys. So I just think it was like a code message. That's how I seen it.
Okay, I think in general, you're gonna find out with any type of space. For example, if you look at Red Pill, not everyone in the space is gonna be a alpha like they portray, etc. You're gonna really find
Yeah.
out in any space. There's gonna be people who are just, you know, talking in the comments, talking whatever. You're gonna find out in any space, whether that's handsome men's game or Red Pill specifically. So I do get where you're coming from, but I think in general, you're gonna find that in any space. Now, what I would say handsome man's game is for me isn't necessarily specifically with women. And let me explain what I mean by that. What handsome man's game to me is basically like, you see, with women, they're socially aware at a young age, so they understand they can get certain things in life based upon their looks. Whereas men, I don't think they're not really they're not really socially aware like women. So they might walk. I think a lot of handsome guys, they're really just walking around being satisfied with being handsome. I'm basically saying get something out of looking a certain type of way, make more money in life, progress in life from moving a certain way, because you understand the way you understand your position in society because of your looks, basically. So I'm basically saying, to me, handsome men's game is to get more out of life in general. That's why you watch some of the videos and you'll hear me reiterate for men to stay on their purpose, etc. I'm not just saying you're a handsome guy, go sleep with this woman, go sleep with that woman. It's really about getting more out of life. Now, the purpose of it in terms of dating is, let me just explain it like this. Let's say you have a handsome guy and an average guy, right?
Yeah.
And there's a woman, and they both got their eyes on their woman, and both have two different approaches when it comes to dealing with the woman. The average guy, when he's going over there to deal with the woman, he's not already met the woman's attraction metrics because he's an average guy. Most, you know, he's just an average guy. So he probably does need to have game, have charisma, say stuff, and really talk to the woman, talk his way into the bedroom, whatever. Basically what I'm teaching is to understand your role in society. And as a handsome guy, don't go in there talking too much, because from a looks point of view, yes, there's going to be, you can talk about the semantics of, you know, she might not like you because you're a race, etc. But generally, if you're actually an attractive guy, most women are going to like you. My thing is, don't go in there approaching it like an average guy and think you have to talk and do all this. You've already basically satisfied her attraction metric being a handsome guy. So when you're dealing with women, it's to kind of know where you stand in society and not do too much, basically.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Now, obviously, there's other YouTubers who they can speak for themselves on what they really preach. Like, I don't really watch too many people in the space, so I don't necessarily know what they are preaching, but I'm basically saying that's why I'm basically saying Handsome Men's Game applies. What do you think? I would ask you now, what do you think is the purpose of Handsome Men's Game? Because you explained to me what you basically think it is in general in terms of being a cult message, but what do you think the purpose of it is? What do you think these YouTubers who are making this content, what do you think they're trying to teach the men? What do you think the purpose overall is?
I think it's to make the dudes feel better about their shitty lives and get more money for them, for themselves.
So you think it's just for most of Handsome Men's Games YouTubers, it's just a money grab?
I won't say most. I would say the more popular ones that I've talked about. I don't think you don't come off like that. You come off like you believe what you're saying, and you trying to still make guys kind of recognize something and do better. I do think for some of them, they probably look at it like that, but I just think it's a lot of stuff that's kind of non-applicable. Like a lot of the people I watch their videos, like you don't really learn how to do or really do anything. Like you're just like watching a guy basically, like I said, a lot of the videos I saw was dudes just basically they had subscribers that come to them and they say, hey man, I'm struggling with women for XYZ. What can I do? What can I say? How should I move? Like, give me something different to actually perform in my life. And these guys, instead of giving them something to actually perform, they would say, well, you know, women is gonna reject you because you look good, bro. You know, it's kind of like a participation trophy. Like, how you know they look good? Like you talking to a camera like I am. You can't see them motherfuckers in the, you know what I'm saying, in your comments. So it's kind of like this it's more like a self-fulfilling prophecy to me. It's like you got some dude that's a YouTuber who's just calling himself handsome, and then you got these subscribers that's watching it that's also just agreeing that they are, you know, also handsome, when there's really no results to show for it, because a lot of the videos are about how these dudes struggling with women, and they're trying to make videos about, I saw a lot of them making videos about like masculine women and, you know, modern women, and how women are so stuck up and they're in this whole, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of like this channel to kind of come to and just, you know, they facilitating, to me, a bunch of incels who are kind of frustrated with women. And then a lot of those dudes too, they combine that Handsome Men's Game with teaching a lot of stuff about ignoring women. Like everything's about that. So I usually find that a lot of those guys, they teach both of those things at once. You see what I'm saying? And to me, they facilitate a crowd of dudes that's more socially awkward, that really didn't get nowhere from when they found them. It's just they done found a joint community of guys they can all complain with and just say, you know, be mad about women. And my channel is not about that whatsoever.
Yeah. I 100% understand what you're saying, but once again, I think it kind of goes back to the point where you'll find that in any type of space. Whereas like Red Pill, use that as an example once again, a lot of times these guys, they can come into communities and just complain about women also, and not really be doing the work, but just want to complain about women. So you can find that in basically any type of community. But I will say I do completely understand what you are saying. I think it is dangerous with the Handsome Men's content when it becomes a place where people are just making men feel all right for their inadequacies. There can be a thin line between that, where it's just you're saying that in every video, but I make sure I don't lean into that type of space, because the Handsome Men's Game content, it can uplift men, but you don't want to go into just feeding men lies and telling them what they want to hear. So I do 100% understand where you're coming from with that. For example, within one of my videos, and it was titled "Why Handsome Men Shouldn't Talk Too Much." It was like 5 days ago, something like that. I said in the video, one of my last points was, don't be yourself. A lot of you guys are weird. So I do make sure myself personally to hold people accountable. I don't mean that in an offensive way. What I mean is, most of us, all of us, if a camera was on us when we're by ourselves, we would probably be perceived weird, right? So I said you shouldn't really be trying to go around being yourself, because yourself is probably weird. Like people are normal, right? So yourself is gonna probably come across weird. So you should probably adapt to certain situations. So I do make sure that I'm not leaning into telling men you're this, you're that. I tell them straight up, you're probably weird, because that's just how it is. Most people are like that. So I do understand what you are saying, but once again, I do think that can kind of generally be something that you can say to any community. But I would ask you again, what would you say is, so you do believe you believe the people who are making the content are making it to basically say, you're basically saying it's a cult message. So do you believe the viewers who are watching that type of content are going there specifically because they want to feel better? Or do you think there's some guys who may start seeing certain things not really make sense, and they kind of go towards that content. And once again, before you answer that, because you said something like these guys are just coming on here saying they're handsome here and there, and that is kind of true. That's why with me personally, I had established objective facts to prove why I can come on here talk about these certain things. For example, being in the modeling industry. So my question to you is basically centered around that. Do you think these people are just coming here for a cult message to feel like they're a certain person, or they look a certain type of way? Or do you think there's certain men who realize maybe that type of game isn't for me? Maybe I get treated a certain type of way because of the way I look.
Okay.
Because
I'm trying to think about how I want to answer that. I think, and let me know if this doesn't clear it up, because I might miss that last part that you said. But as far as why guys go to those videos, I mean, it's the same reason why I think any guys watching any dating content, right? You find a video that says, like I said, if you just go to Handsome Man's Game and you find the channels that's the most popular, right? That they more popular than me, they more popular than you, and they're most viewed. It's usually something that has like a complaining type of message in there related to women, right? And that's just how it goes. Like you said, in the red pill space, the bigger channels are the ones that do what? They bitch and complain about women. Or if you're looking at like Fresh and Fit in them, they're going to bring on a bunch of women and try to show how women are crazy, because that's what a lot of guys want to hang on to.
Yeah.
And it's just more entertaining for a lot of men. Now, I would say that a lot of them click those videos because they want a answer as to why they are struggling in their life, in their dating life, right? That's why any dude is watching YouTube. Like, I don't care who you are, there's no reason you would be in this community unless you're a content creator, but especially as someone that's a consumer. They're in this because they're looking for help. You see what I'm saying? They want help. They found a video that said why handsome men are getting rejected. They see that, and even if they don't think they're handsome, that's a clickable title. It's like, dang, handsome dudes or good looking dudes are getting rejected too. And this dude is about to tell me why. And so they hit click. And then they see one of them buff ass dudes like Ty Worldwide X or Justin J or whoever it is, some buff dude. And you got a scrawny incel, right? He's looking at this. His assumption is, even if he don't think that guy in his opinion is handsome, he's just going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He got the subscribers. He already got viewers. And this dude is more muscular than me, and he talking like he knows something, right? So automatically they already gonna put themselves here and this guy up here. So now they listening to these reasons. The dude is basically telling you, hey man, you might be handsome. This is kind of what they're applying. As a handsome man right now, you're getting rejected because women look at you like this, and they give all these reasons. So immediately, I do think it can be beneficial for some guys that's already kind of decent with women, because the first thing they'll learn from watching this content is, okay, sometimes you can get rejected for being good looking. That can be beneficial to that guy. But an incel, no. This is destructive for a dude, which is most of our viewers, all of us. Most people that's watching us need a lot of fucking help. So they're watching us, and you're basically telling him from the jump, bro, you're good as you are. It's her rejecting you because of XYZ reason. And then they like to pull TikTok clips of girls saying stuff, and they'll use that as their proof, right? You coming from the modeling industry, success with women, whatever the case. Well, they ain't coming on there from that. They coming on there from, look at what girls say on TikTok, and they gonna find some crazy ass blonde bitch that's saying the most dumb stuff ever. You see what I'm saying? And this is teaching these guys that, they came here trying to get help with women, but then they kind of have this like depressing message that's like, damn, women ain't shit. Basically, I'm not really gonna get nowhere with them, and I'm gonna keep watching this guy's video so I can just feel better about myself. Do I think some of those dudes teach self-improvement or working out? Yes, all of that's gonna be beneficial. But I think overall, like the overarching message, and you can see it in their comments, because your community and how your community talk is a reflection of what you basically presenting them. All the comments, man, be top comments of dudes either bragging about how they ignored women or how they recognize women ain't shit, or the other side that's like, man, life is hard, whether you handsome, whether you normal, like, fuck women. They end up all kind of having this type of mentality, you know what I'm saying? And I do think it could be beneficial for, like I said, maybe financial stuff, using your looks to get more money or whatever it is, and using your looks just so you can just improve for yourself. But I think a lot of guys go into those channels and they really don't walk out with true results, like how guys on my channel do, or other, game type of channels or whatever, where I'm giving guys applicable things they can do different today. You see what I'm saying? That's going to take them from struggling to, yo, Y&D, I just got 4 numbers now. How did I just do works? You know what I'm saying? This is stuff I get. And guys in my comments like, yeah, I did this. What do I do on the next step? Hey, bro, I got dates now. I got guys. You'll see it on my page if you just go look at it. So you can see, just looking at the community I'm creating compared to those dudes. I think a lot of those dudes go in looking for help and they walk out basically more frustrated. It kind of feeds into their frustration and their frustrations, and they don't get no better. And I think this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and let me know if I answered everything. Personally, I watched some of your videos on it since we started talking, and I think you got a more healthy mindset and approach, in my opinion. So, you know, you might, I'm not saying you are, you're not, but you could be kind of doing yourself a little disservice by even associating yourself with those dudes. Because I would say, for me, what I saw, your message is not the same as the dudes that I'm talking about who are more popular. So when they see Handsome Man's Game, they might kind of lump you in with somebody. At least dudes on my channel would, because they would think you're going to teach something that you actually don't teach. I don't think you teach that same type of message.
Yeah, I understand what you were saying, and I believe, to answer on what you previously just said before your statement there, I believe it kind of comes down to just accountability in general. Because from what you're saying, and I believe you make a valid point when you say that. You say basically the advice can be good to people who are genuinely looking for answers, who may genuinely be handsome, genuinely not understand that there may be a woman out there who may think because of your looks you're going to be a certain type of way. You're basically saying it can generally be helpful to them, but to a guy who's an incel, it can be quite destructive, because it's basically you're promoting his inadequacies by telling him he's going for a certain thing because he's a handsome guy or this or that. So that's why I do say it does, to me, come back to accountability. If an incel decides that, okay, I'm not gonna take in mind the fact that I'm an involuntary celibate. He's not gonna take into account the fact that that's his situation. If he doesn't do that, he's just choosing not to hold himself accountable, and he's choosing to be delusional. And you're going to get people like that who may just not want to accept that maybe they're awkward, maybe they are generally handsome, but maybe their social skills are completely just terrible. You're going to have people like that who don't want to admit that there's something wrong with them, because some people are just not built like that to really look in the mirror and say, this is wrong with me, that's wrong with me. So there's going to be those people who know clearly that something's off because they're not getting results, but they don't want to look in the mirror. So I do believe it does generally comes back to accountability. You can't really do anything about those type of people. They have to be accountable for themselves. But is that everything you really wanted to cover on that part of things? Because I wanted to ask you a question now.
Yeah, I think so. I got a question too, so you can go ahead.
Now, this is where we get into the interesting stuff. I really want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think a guy, let's say a guy who's objectively handsome, he's not like saying he's handsome, he's actually objectively handsome, right? He's had success with women. He's basically lived enough life to know he's genuinely an attractive guy. Should that guy and an average guy, should they take the same game and approach women the exact same? I want to know from your opinion, from your perspective.
So first, y'all got to understand how I think of game, right? So game is just basically your game plan, right? Because that's what it is. Your game plan and your approach when dealing with women to get from point A to point B to point C, which is, how am I going to approach her? You know what I'm saying? What type of method do I use? And then from here, with texting, calling, what am I going to do? From here, going out with this girl, linking up with her, or having her come back to your house and going on a date, whatever y'all do, how am I going to do things and carry myself there? How am I going to take this to the bedroom? And if you wanted a relationship, how do I take it to that? You see what I'm saying? It's your game plan on how you move. So when my thought that I keep, when you ask that question, the first thing that pops in my head is, you know, if you are an objectively attractive guy, I actually, and there's an average looking guy, I think the game should be relatively the same. Now, game is game, so it's gonna look a little different on you than it would on me. But I think as far as the core principles of what a man that's successful at either sleeping with a lot of women, or having women fall in love with him and he get the girls that he want, or whatever the case, right? These dudes, what I've seen universally is all of us and all of those type of guys all follow the same type of core principles, whether they realize it or not. So I answer that to say, I think the game would be the same, because the game that I would teach an average dude to do with the woman that he got her number would be the same game I would teach a dude that's objectively handsome, because it's the woman in those cases looks at y'all the same. So there's average guys out here, right, who objectively look worse than you.
Hold on, Andy. Hold on. I don't want to cut you off there, but you said
Yeah,
something
go
right there
ahead.
now. You said the woman looks at average guy and a handsome guy the same. Come on now.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. In the context of let's say, I'm gonna just give two names. There's Sally and Susie, right? Sally meets a guy that objectively we would say, or maybe other women would say, Tony or some other dude is average, right? But for Sally to give the number, she finds him attractive, regardless of what we see, what we see or what we say. You see what I'm saying? And then the other dude that gets another girl's number, she finds him attractive, even if he's objectively attractive already. Both of these girls look at these dudes as, this guy looks good to me. So the game that I would give both of them is the same. Do you get what I'm saying? I would give them the same type of game on the same type of approach that they should take, because the game that's needed to smash the girl is the same for both of the guys. I don't think a guy, and I know where you're coming from with this, hearing some of the stuff you said. I don't think an average guy needs to talk more. I don't think game and mouthpiece is about talking more to trying to show your personality or impress the bitch. Fuck them hoes. That's what I tell them. I think the game for all of them is more on the unspoken riz side of things, kind of being more laid back all the way around. I think whether you attractive objectively, and I think that whether you an average guy, if you get some girl's number, that means she already likes you to some degree. And the best way to raise her interest or make it so you're going to get in that ass is always going to be playing it more chill, more relaxed, more indifferent. Like, this bitch ain't nothing special to you, because that's the only thing that's going to make her like you more. That I would tell the guys. And the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to pass it back to you. The guy that's more attractive, actually, I think he has more leeway to talk and be a little quirky and weird, because the fact that she finds him so attractive, he gonna get away with more bullshit. So if he is a little weird and stuff like this, a lot of those dudes that I've seen in my own life and girls that done found me super attractive from the jump, I make so many quote unquote game mistakes and they still give me the ass, because the way that they view me is like, man, this guy looks so good. Everything I'm saying, because I'm attracted to her, comes from a place of confidence. Even if I wasn't, everything I'm saying comes off like it's funny. Whereas, you see what I'm saying? The guy that's on the more average side, he met the minimal attraction requirements. I think him talking too much is gonna hurt him more than the dude that's objectively attractive and super good looking to the girl.
So I'm gonna just set it off like this. I think if you're an average guy and there's a woman in the environment and you take a liking to her, I think if you're laid back, that's one of the worst things you could possibly do, because you're going to get passed up. You're already blending in being an average guy, because why? You're average, and most people are average. So you're already blending in as an average guy. I think if you don't really put yourself out there, you're not charismatic, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. You're really going to miss out, because I don't believe that women are just going to see that you're laid back as an average looking guy and think, they are going to think it is better than doing too much, just trying to be the loudest guy in the room. It is better than doing that. But I do think being a laid back guy, if you're average, is going to do worse for you than if you were to present yourself in a certain type of way and have some sort of charisma about you without being too much. And a handsome guy, I think you can do that, because I think the reason I disagree with what you're saying, because looking from what I've generally seen from women, if you are, like you say, a handsome guy who you're saying can get away with more stuff because you are handsome, you can talk, you can actually do that type of stuff. If you are doing that, most of these women are going to look at you like you're doing too much. You know you're good looking and you're doing too much. You're talking too much. You're trying to calm down. They're going to look at most of these women. That's really what brought me into the space, because I realized, wait, these guys are saying do this, do that, do this, riz that. But wait, like, this isn't making sense. I'm seeing more success when I'm relaxed, laid back, and I don't really care, to be honest. It's when I really said I don't care anymore that I started seeing certain things, and I said, let me come on YouTube. So really, actually, the reason I disagree with you is because I disagree with what you're saying when you say that a handsome guy has more leeway to talk and be the center of attention. I don't think you're saying center of attention, but just be out there. I don't think he has the leeway to do that, because I think most women, especially today's women in the West, they're going to look who already hate men. Let's be real, they already have they openly profess how much they don't like men in today's society. So if you're a man already talking too much, she's already gonna feel some type of way. Now, if you're talking already, she's gonna feel some type of way. In my opinion, just generally, women don't really like men. But if you're a handsome guy doing that, it's even worse because she's gonna be like, "Why are you feeling yourself? Why are you feeling yourself? Why are you trying to be the center of attention? You know you're good looking and you want to be the center of attention." That's where that's how I kind of look at it. I don't know what you have to say about that.
So yeah, so playing off of that, I like where this is going, by the way. I'm really enjoying this. What I would say, my question to you is
breaking up. It's breaking up.
Uh-oh.
You might have to leave and come back. It's breaking up.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Let's see what you guys. Okay. He also staying at handsome men are that different to women. I think that is what he's stating. I think he is stating that handsome men and average men aren't different to women. That's why I called him out and I said, "Whoa, hold on now. Is this where we're going with it? Like, women are definitely they're definitely different. They're definitely different, but I'm gonna let him touch on that anyway." But yeah, okay. Let me add back to the stage. You good?
Yeah, I heard y'all was in here talking shit about me. Nah, I'm just fucking with
we ain't talking shit about you, but that was a controversial take. I'm not gonna lie when you said that.
Well, I think me and you are kind of coming from two different. When I'm thinking about what you're asking me, I think we're coming from two different places here.
Okay,
so
do you think I'm talking? I'm solely talking about looks. Are you kind of talking about something kind of?
Nah, I'm talking more specifics. That's what I was about to start asking you. It's more specifics. I think you're talking in general. So for anybody in the chat, just so y'all know, I might not be the smartest guy, but I'm not a dumbass. So if you are a average guy in a general sense, yes, objectively to women, you're gonna get different treatment. They're gonna view you different than a more good-looking dude. I'm talking about a specific, once a guy that's quote unquote average looking objectively actually has a girl that likes him. So I'm saying it don't matter no more to what all the other women think when specifically this guy has a woman who likes him. And I'm saying the game at that point would be the same that I would give a guy that's quote unquote good looking to everybody to say. You see what I'm saying? Because all it comes down to is that girl that you're dealing with. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, when you say that, I can see where you're coming from with that. Like once you're in the door, I still think it does have some sort of play, but I do get where you're coming from with that. You're basically in the door already. So what you're really doing there, I get what you're saying. Basically,
that's what I was talking about, and that's why I kind of heard that you was coming from like a general sense. I actually think when you're talking about like social settings, right? And there's an average guy, I think if compared to a more good-looking dude, I don't know if I agree that women look at the guy that's, very attractive and then he's talking and they say to themselves like, "What are you doing? Like, you feeling yourself? Are you over the top or something?" I don't know if I would agree with that. I don't have experience with that happening, but what I will say is the dude that's more attractive in a general sense, him just being more quiet is just going to be better because all the women already notice him, and that's going to kind of spark the mystery about him more in his, and it's going to basically show his confidence. He don't really feel the need to sit and talk so much and do all this stuff, right? So I would agree that it would be better for the dude that's considered already objectively attractive to be laid back, but just for a different reason than what you were saying. I wouldn't look at it from the perspective that, because women is gonna say, "Oh, you're doing too much" or whatever. I just think that if anything, you just gonna have more women that's gonna kind of test your confidence more. Like, you already look good, you're talking a lot, and you're trying to show everybody how charismatic you are. She is gonna think, "Why the hell are you doing that?" and be a little bit more testy with how she's interacting with you, which would slow down your progression to getting the ass. Like I told you, I go about Mr. No Ass Left Behind. Everything over here, do what's necessary to be done so you can fuck all these girls. That's the way, or whatever girls you want to fuck. That's how I'm looking at it. Now, I will say an average guy in a social setting, we're talking about a lot of different people, not after he's got one girl's number or a couple of girls' numbers that clearly like him. If we talking about that, I think I agree with you. I actually think we agree here. It's just our articulation was a little different, but I actually think I agree with you. The average dude, he got to play to his strengths and he needs to know his weaknesses. If you know, in a general sense, growing up, that you are not considered attractive or very attractive at the least to a lot of girls, I think that guy is gonna have to compensate or probably overcompensate a little bit more in different areas. So you're right. The average dude is gonna be invisible in a social setting. So him just playing it quiet, you know, it really don't mean shit to the girl if you playing it quiet or ignoring her or some shit, because she don't notice your motherfucking ass no way, right? So it don't really matter. Now, if you if you an average dude, I think you really want to work on your social skills and try to find a balance to where you don't come off. And I also think those guys need to work on their frame and their masculine presence and how they carry themselves. Because the worst thing as an average dude is to be charismatic and you know how to make everybody laugh, but everybody kind of look at you like a fucking goofball that they can't take serious. You see what I'm saying? So I think that is the best play for a guy that I want to say this real quick. I think the main problem I have with the handsome man's game is it's kind of like self-diagnosing. You know what I'm saying? It's like how it's really like it's kind of like a weird topic to me because only person that's gonna know if they truly handsome or not is really the guy himself that's watching the content. And it's gonna be not off of what the YouTuber is saying a handsome man is gonna experience. Personally, I think my problem with the whole thing really is that, at least in my experience, you know, guys in here can look at me what they see. It really don't matter what y'all think. It's matter what the hoes say. But in my life, women have always thought I was cute. My whole life it's been like that. I never had no issue when it came to looks. My issue always came down to different ways that I communicated and carried myself. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I personally believe, just off of my experience and friends I have and guys I known who always got compliments, but they struggled like I did for the same reasons. And probably stuff you could have went through. I think guys like us or whatever, you done already probably had enough experiences just growing up. I'm talking middle school, high school, you know, as a teenager, to where you already know you handsome. I personally don't think it makes unless you a guy that did all this self-improvement and ran and you just, you know, you really had a huge glow up. Most dudes that's attractive objectively, they already know this. They already know. By the time you 20, you already gonna know. So my problem with a lot of the handsome man's YouTubers is it's like they're trying to tell guys they handsome and give them a reason for why they going through bullshit. When really it's like, nah, you ain't 25 and just found out you was handsome. Nigga, you know if you was handsome or not. You see what I'm saying? You would know what your problems are to some degree and what your problems are not. So I don't know how you can be, 30, find handsome man's game and be like, oh, this is why women reject me or something. Like, it don't make any sense. Like a dude that's really attractive, he didn't have to do a lot of, extra self-improvement. It's just the way he looked naturally when he was 15, 16. He was already getting girls that thought he was cute. He was getting a lot of them. And he would fumble the bag because of how he carried himself or little issues with his approach to getting what he wanted from women, not because he couldn't get in the door. So I just think that's what my issue is with handsome man's game. To some extent, it's like at least the main guys I'm talking about, not necessarily you, but those bigger ones. It's like, bro, you ain't teaching no nigga at 30 that he's handsome. Like, I don't know how people even believe it. I don't even know how they would believe it.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, 30 would be crazy to not know whether you're attractive or not. 30 would be a crazy number. But with that being said, though, even though 30 is crazy, right? As you can see by my reaction, it was kind of crazy when I heard 30, but
right.
30 is crazy. But I would say generally I agree with what you just said. Generally, I agree with what you just said, right? But what would you say in terms of your diagnosis? What about a handsome guy who's more so of an introvert? He doesn't really socialize, so he might not know if he's handsome, and he might actually be a handsome guy, but because he doesn't socialize, he's not aware. What would you kind of, like I said, generally I agree with what you said, but I just wanted to know from your opinion, what would you say about that type of guy, like specifically?
Well, that type of guy, if you still trying to figure out if you handsome and you in your 20s or even late teens, you're not, I'm just be the one to tell you, you could be mad at me, you not handsome, or the number two thing is you focusing on the wrong things. This is probably a guy that's still at the beginner incel type of stage.
Not to cut you off, did you say 25?
Huh?
Did you say 25?
Nah, I said 20s. You should know at 20.
Like early 20s or late 20s?
I would say definitely by early 20s at the latest. That should be the latest that that's find out. That's
kind of like when people are going, especially in America, that's kind of when people are going to university and stuff, right?
That's basically when you graduating, because we go around 17, 18, going to university at 17, 18, because we finish high school. Yeah.
Okay, so exactly. So you might not quite know in the early 20s. That's why at first it was kind of like, yeah, but I thought about it again. Wait, did he say early 20s or late 20s. I do think that is important because most of these guys, you've got to realize, and I'm glad we're actually talking about this now because it's very interesting to talk. It's a very interesting topic because you've got to realize most women, like I said earlier on in the live stream, they socialize early. You already know. I don't know how it is in America with the schools in America, but you already know the guy who's. Are you still here in the live stream? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
But we already know the guy who's distributing drugs to the neighborhood, picking the girl up at high school. We already see women are already socially aware at a certain age. They're already gaining experience. I'm telling you, men, they're not really, even the guys in high school who are good with girls, they don't really even know game. They're just naturally just maybe good with girls. They don't even know game like that. They're just naturally might be good with girls. So really, the reason I disagree with what you're saying is because maybe 25. That's why when I heard you say, I was kind of checking, maybe 25 and up. I kind of get it. That's why I asked, did you say 25? But earlier on, men, we don't really get that experience with women to socialize generally. Now, there may be exceptions. Maybe you're a handsome guy. Maybe you know how to deal with women, etc. But generally, we don't get that type of experience women get at early age dealing with the opposite gender. We usually have to become something. Most men, like once again, maybe exceptions. Like you said, you were successful with women at a young age, but most men, they don't really have experience dealing with the opposite gender. So they kind of do, they may not be aware that they're actually a handsome guy. They may not have dealt with enough women because they don't just get their sexual market. In the sexual marketplace, their value isn't at its peak when they're 14, 15, like a girl's 14, 15. When she's 14, 15, like I said, the guy who's distributing drugs to the neighborhood is pulling up and might get her a little iPhone or whatever. She's already extracting value from the opposite gender at a young age. Men, that doesn't usually come. The value we extract is kind of different as well, but men, that typically doesn't come till we've built something of ourselves.
Okay. And what I'll say to that is I'm aware, man, a lot of people got different lives than me or the people I've grown up knowing, right? So, I won't disregard their experience. I mean, that could be some guys out here. I mean, it's plausible. It sounds like it makes sense. It's possible to happen in the realm of capabilities in the human world. So I believe there's probably guys that went through that. So I won't knock that. My question off what you're saying is would be this. If that's the case for a guy, he don't know he's handsome or something, and he's been dealing with women and he's getting rejected. And let's say he's 20 years old. He found your videos and now he done self-diagnosed that he got the handsome disease. And I'm just fucking with you. But he's handsome, and that's probably why. Okay. What's some of the rules that a handsome guy would follow that he might have been doing before that you would be like, nah, don't do that no more. You a handsome dude. That's what's been causing your issues. No, do this as a handsome guy. What would be some of the rules or things he would do differently with women, when he found out he was handsome? Yeah. For your channel, because I know, let's not even talk about them other frauds. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about you.
Okay. First thing first, I'll tell him straight off the bat, don't talk too much. You know what I'm saying? Like less is more. That's the first thing I'd say. Secondly, you're not Kevin Hart. Don't try and be a comedian. It's just a bad look. If you're trying to make everybody laugh as a handsome guy, you're trying to be a comedian, I'd say.
I always tell them, don't be trying to Eddie Murphy your way into the pussy. You know what I'm saying? Making all the jokes and shit.
Exactly. Like I'll say as a handsome guy, don't be a comedian. And when you ask the question, did you say specifically to just dealing with women, what they should do or in life?
Yeah, just specifically just dealing with women. Like, okay, I'm a handsome guy. I've been struggling. Now I know I'm handsome. If they come into you fashion finesse, they say, yo, bro, what do I need to do differently so I can start getting the results you've been getting?
I'll say, so those first two things. And another thing I would say is that life setup. A lot of times as a handsome, if someone came to me as like, I just now realize I'm handsome, what should I do, etc. I say, make sure your life setup is on point. For example, this could be social media, etc. I say, make sure that's on point because you don't really have to do too much to attract women when you've got those things in order. So I say, make sure those things are in order. Since we're talking about specifically dealing with women, and that's generally it. That's generally it. I would just say maybe just don't try to do too much when dealing with women, and that's really it. That's those things I said. That's really off the top of the dome anyway, at least.
So if an average guy comes to you and he says, "Man, I'm not handsome. I'm 20 years old. I'm struggling with women. What would his game be?"
That's
what
a
would
good
you tell
question.
him?
That's another good question. So first thing first, like I said, with the handsome guy, don't talk too much. With the average guy, I would say you need to talk you need to talk a bit more. You need to kind of let that personality show, because you might, with most women, you might not convince them with your look. So I say you need to let that personality show. Now, yes, generally shouldn't be a comedian also with as an average guy, but I do think if you do have charisma, someone who's average
Mhm.
looking, that can do wonders for you. We all know a guy who's maybe not conventionally attractive, but he's able to be successful with women because maybe he makes women feel a certain type of way, maybe he makes them laugh without doing too much. So I'd say that as well. And finally, as the average guy, I'd say life setup, but it's different. And let me explain why. As a decent looking guy, a handsome guy, not even decent looking, a handsome guy, your life setup doesn't necessarily have to be based upon. For example, an average guy's life setup and a handsome guy's life setup is not going to be the same. Why? Because as an average guy, you kind of need to show stuff outside of your looks. For example, you need to start type kind of show what your life setup is like in terms of where you live in, those type of things, you kind of need to have that
Mhm.
type of stuff on point, because there's women who can go on your social media as an average guy with your life set up and see, maybe not find you that attractive, but they might see, okay, he lives this type of lifestyle. I like that. I'm on board. The reason I say it's different than a handsome guy, because with a handsome guy, your life setup doesn't really have to be showing the luxury stuff you're doing or doing that type of stuff. You've already kind of convinced them with the look. So your life setup could be maybe your hobbies, etc. That can
Right.
maybe be what turns on a woman for you as a handsome guy. But average guy, I say your life setup kind of has to it sounds shallow, but it kind of has to be kind of some material in there if you're an average guy. That's just what
Yeah.
I personally would say. Whereas a handsome guy, your material, women in general are gonna like material, right? They say diamonds is the way to a woman's heart. They're gonna like material in general, but with a handsome guy, you don't really need to push the material that much within your life set.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that, man. I would agree with that because on my channel, um, I have guys that come over there and they say, "Hey, man, the stuff you say or the stuff you're doing, they'll be like, it's not working for me, right?"
Mhm.
So with those dudes, I always ask them, "Well, what's some of your strengths and stuff?" And if they're honest, they'll kind of be like, "I don't really got none." So I got a video I had. It was called "Pick a Struggle," and it's basically like, you can't be broke, fat as hell, smell like shit, and then your teeth be fucked up and think, you just gonna make it all work. So I'm
Mhm.
like, you gotta pick one. And usually in those type of areas, I tell guys to just focus on the things that they can control and the things that's gonna be the most considered attractive to majority of women, which would usually be your lifestyle, your finances, and then you got to find some way to showcase that, because you can have a lot of money and women ain't gonna know. Women can't even tell a fucking billionaire from a broke dude pretending they can't understand shit. So I tell guys, you got to show it. You know what I'm saying? So that means you're gonna have to go out here, get you a good car. You're gonna have to dress more like flashy in some sort of way, and that's gonna raise your value in those women's eyes. You know what I'm saying? Um, I agree with that. I think, like I said, on my channel, man, I give basically all the stuff you're saying. I give everything so that any guy, wherever he is at, can find what I'm saying and find something on there that's gonna help him. Whether it's, you know, that's kind of why I wouldn't personally do like handsome man's game, because even that is kind of niche. It's like a micro niche kind of
Mhm.
within the niche. It's like you're focused on a specific subset of
Yeah.
guys and you're warding off a lot of guys who like, man, what is that? Or I don't think I'm that, right? So
That's
that's
why,
why I just go
not to
ahead.
interrupt you, that's why I did say that I am moving towards expanding, but I do believe in keeping it
Yeah.
niche, because I do believe those type of men need specific advice. So I would always keep it niche. That's how I came in the game. But I do believe in expanding as well and helping other guys understand
Yeah.
certain things. There's certain principles you can teach a guy regardless of if he's handsome or average. But yeah, that's what I want to say real quick. But
Yeah.
no, did you finish everything you want to say, or
Yeah.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. So based upon everything we're talking about as well,
Hmm.
so would you say if a guy is actually handsome, he wouldn't need to watch Handsome Man's Game? Because you basically put it out in your video that I watched, that if a guy was actually handsome, he wouldn't need to be watching that type of stuff. He would know already. Do you think that a handsome guy can only watch that type of stuff if he's basically looking for cope? Like, I know you kind of touched on it earlier, but I'm more so asking from the perspective of, do you do you think a guy would already know he's handsome? Do you think if he's watching that, he's probably not handsome? He's probably just looking for something to make himself feel better.
Yeah, I would say most of them. I would say most of them. Do I think there can be value in it? Of course. I think you can learn from anything. I mean, I'm very open-minded. So, I think a Christian can learn something from a Satanist if they sat and listened to him long enough. Does that mean I would recommend that? No. Your channel excluded, brother. I ain't gonna put you in this. Personally, though, I would think a dude that's actually handsome and attractive, he would have more success if he was watching the stuff I'm doing, because as soon as he applied it, it would just start working for him immediately. Because I'm saying a lot of the same stuff you saying, right? If you're a handsome dude, you should be a little bit more reserved. You see what I'm saying? Different stuff like this. And the thing on my channel is I try to give specifics. So I think they're both can be valuable depending on what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? I would say, and this might just sound like I'm an arrogant asshole or something, but hey, I mean, you got to believe in yourself if nobody else do. I just think when you come to my channel, you're going to get that objective type of talk, so you can kind of understand how women look at things or might look at you as a whole. But I also give a lot of specifics, right? Like, what do you do in this situation with a girl when you're on the date? What do you do when you're on the couch with her, XYZ, and you're trying to take it here? What do you say when she says this? When the girl texts you this, oh, I'm not comfortable with this, or what do you mean this? Or a girl does like little shit test. I like that you talk about those, by the way. I saw you do shit test type of videos, which a lot of them don't, right? So that's good that you kind of branching off from that. You, like you said, you still keep it, but I actually think you moving in a good direction. And that's why I said you excluded. But I try to give specific scenarios that's gonna plague a guy, whether he's handsome or not, because there's a lot of things men are gonna go through, whether you're very attractive, whether you're average, that both of y'all gonna go through with women. And if you don't know how to deal with them, the best way to put it, you're cooked. You're done. Finito. You're not getting the ass, no matter how handsome you are. And you'll always be having these struggles of like, okay, with these girls, this worked, but these type of women, it just, why not? Why can't I make it work? Whereas the strategies I give a lot of like dating strategies and tips, on way a guy can carry himself different, or specific things he can say and do to pivot in different areas when women do certain things to still take it to the goal that you have. So I find that with my short success, I'm gonna say this, my short time on YouTube with my quick success has been from, I'm giving guys a lot of specifics for applicable situations. I think a lot of handsome man's game as a whole, that's why it's excluding you. I want to keep saying that so some dumbass don't say I'm coming at your neck or something coming at you or something. I think a lot of them, they speak in generalizations, which can be, kind of beneficial only so far. But as far as your actual life, what to do and what not to do when you're dealing with women, should you say this at this time? Should you act like this? Why this works, why it doesn't? I think a lot of guys, that's why they don't find success in those communities. They learn a little bit, but then it's like, okay, I understand, if I'm attractive, I don't have to talk as much. But when do I talk? And what do I say? How does what you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys in this community that need that type of help. And it's easy for guys, that's real attractive already, or they figured it out, to just be like, what do you mean? You just, you just be yourself. Or they say, oh, you just, you don't say too much. But it's like, okay, but what does that mean, bro? Like, I need the specifics, because we dealing with a lot of dudes, man, that they ain't got nothing. I mean, you talking about desert dick, they ain't had nothing.
They need like real, like tangible steps.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess more so what I was trying to get, maybe I worded the question a bit wrong, but I guess more so what I was trying to get from asking you that is, do you think if a handsome guy is struggling with women, it can never be his looks? He's just automatically got to be a weirdo. That's why he's struggling. Do you not think there's a situation? Do you not believe that there's scenarios where literally it's outside of your control because she's got a perception of you based upon your looks already? Do you not think that can happen? Do you think it's always got to be because the guy's just weird? It's not because he's handsome, or what do you think about that?
I think that is a possibility that can happen. Do I think it happens enough and it's significant enough to make a whole niche about it and make a channel? Hell no. And the reason why I say this is because a dude that's pretty attractive, like actually attractive, and he's having experiences, because you got to look at it like this. For him to already be having situations where I gotta assume this is a guy that's getting numbers, right? If he's getting girls' numbers and he's fumbling from there, right? He can't get it to work out. Yeah. That dude's problem 100% is going to be his game, the way he's interacting with the girl, the stuff he says or the stuff he doesn't say, the way he acts with her or the way he doesn't act with her. 100% has to be that. The only guy I could see, having that type of problem is a dude who just does not talk to enough women at all. You see what I'm saying? And I still wouldn't recommend Handsome Man's Game, because you talked to 2 girls who rejected you because you were too attractive, and now you're on fucking YouTube looking for shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys need to be told, man, talk to more women, socialize more. I don't think an overarching or overwhelming epidemic of men's problems is because they're too attractive. I just think that's going to be the small minority of women that you meet. It's going to be, and when I say minority, I just mean under 50%. You know, so there's no way that's going to be the majority reason why a guy is still an incel. And when I say incel, for all you guys out there, because I know everybody here watching, I ain't no fucking incel. Who the fuck you talking? I ain't no fucking incel. Guys, incel is just a dude. If you trying to get women and you find yourself, man, I cannot sleep with these girls, or these girls just always lose interest, you are a damn incel. If you cannot consistently, for the most part, get women and get the results you want with women, you are an incel. That's just straight up. It's not demoralizing. It's not me talking down. I'm just using that term. It's just a term, y'all. But basically, yeah, the only guys that's going to be struggling, like, and that's going to be their problem, he wouldn't even care. Why would he care? You know, he talks to so many women. He gets so many women. Yeah, maybe 30%, 20%. They reject him because he looked too good. He wouldn't even be sitting trying to put his mind to why those girls rejected him, because he got all these other girls that think he look good because he's objectively attractive, right? He wouldn't even have that mindset to go find it.
Yeah, let me just say this to answer this. First thing first, I'll address one of the first points you said. You said you don't think it's important enough for a niche to be made about it. Something can still be niche, but still have millions of people within the niche, if you get what I'm saying. For example, right, Black people will be considered minorities. They're a niche, right? But there's still millions of people. So you can't just say, you know, we're not going to do for these people because they're a minority, and we're just not going to do for them. We still do for them because they still matter, right? You can still have something be a niche and it can still impact millions of people, right? And I do believe it's important. For example, let's say handsome guys, they have a certain image, right, of being I don't really know if we're cussing on here or not, but I think you've cussed, or did you cuss already?
I know I have. You know, I can't hold it in.
But let's say she calls you that, right? She calls you a player, whatever. But handsome men have this image of being a player. So if a lot of these handsome guys, majority, I'd actually argue, they're gonna have situations where it might not have worked out with a certain female because of their looks. So I think even though I do hear you, it is a niche, right? Most men aren't handsome, so it is going to be a niche, but I still think it's an important niche, because just because something is a niche doesn't mean it's not going to impact. It doesn't mean your message can't impact a whole bunch of people. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to add something in there, because you said something and I want to get what you mean. So you said that a lot of women will look at a handsome guy and they'll assume like he's a player, right?
100%.
I don't. So right here, I don't think, you know, I think the only time the situation you're talking about happens is if you go up to a girl.
I want to clarify that as well. If she's not going to think of it as a player. Let's say he opens his mouth and he's clearly just a loser. No way. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But off the bat, yeah. But carry on.
Yeah. Okay. And that's fine. That's fine. I actually think the more attractive you are, a lot of girls are going to assume that you get other women. I mean, if you, and this is just my opinion on this, I think if the girl find you attractive for whatever reasons she value, whether she think you got a whole bunch of money, she think you got a lot of status, she's going to assume that to some degree you deal with other women. If she finds you attractive, women automatically assume you get other women until you fuck up and show them you don't. Yeah. So I would agree that to be true. But I think that a dude, the only time a guy is going to lose women solely because this is how I'm interpreting it, solely because of his looks, is going to be the initial interaction when he's trying to get the phone number or whatever the case. If you get rejected, then I think 100% those handsome men videos can be valid, that her mindset was, you look too good, I ain't trying to deal with that, or whatever the case. I think that's true. But what I find is a lot of dudes don't go on YouTube just because of that, right? A lot of dudes is on, and if they are, they usually ain't handsome. I'm just telling you, they got rejected a lot to be like, why can't I get a number? But most dudes that are on YouTube and in our communities, I find that these are guys that are meeting girls that do find them attractive. And even if she thought you was a player, I wouldn't say you lost a girl because of how you looked. I would say you lost a girl with your mouthpiece in your game, because she gave you the number thinking you was attractive. She might have thought in her head, this dude might be a player. And somewhere along the line with your speech, your behavior, your game, and your mouthpiece, you failed with that girl and you did show her you was a player. I think if you get the girl's number, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Did you want to just finish? Do you want to finish that off
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick?
All I'm saying is I would not, the way I would word that, unless I'm misunderstanding you, but based off how you saying it, I would not word it as,
Okay.
you know, you lost that girl because you look good or something like this. Only time I would see that is if you want to say, man, you know, if a guy says I went, if he's somehow objectively attractive, he went up to 15 girls in a row and all of them rejected him, right? First, I would be having some questions about his social game because that's ridiculous. If you're actually that good looking, you got rejected over and over to where you on YouTube sound like some shit going on with how you carry yourself. But let's say, you know, it wasn't. I could see it possibly being true that they all rejected you because they thought you might be a player. I think
Yeah.
it ends there. I don't think you get a girl's number. I don't think you go out with girls. I don't think you have true, you know, foundations of relationships with women and they walk off because you look too good. At that point, it's all gonna come down to your game. That's what unless you know she want to just hop on another dick or something, you know, they all hoes and sluts. So maybe they did that. But outside of that, you know, if she's like, I'm done with this guy, it's always gonna be because of what you said, what you didn't say, how you acted. You see what I'm saying? It's not gonna be, oh, you know, I think he's a player. If she thought that, she would have never gave you the number. And I find a lot of dudes that they pass that stage. You know, they got the number and they keep losing girls, so they coming to us trying to figure out what the hell did I do wrong.
Okay, let me put you in a certain situation, right?
Okay.
Let's say you're walking. I'm not gonna ask you where you're from, but you're from America, right? So
Yeah.
let's say you're in a state in America. You're walking down the street. You see a beautiful looking girl, right? She's your type, right? What's your type?
You said what's my type?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up on you know about Drake, right? Yeah, he over there, of course. Yeah. Drake, Lil Wayne, they had this
What do you
song
think
back
I'm
in the
listening to?
day.
What do you think I'm listening to over here?
Now I had to think about it, but I'm like, well, yeah, it's just, you know, you in
This guy
you
thinks I'm
kind
over here listening to classical music.
of Beethoven and shit. I don't know. Nah, but you know, I
Hey,
grew up listening to Drake and Lil Wayne. They had this song, right? It was called it was like I just want to fuck every girl in the world, right? So my type is pretty, you know, I got a wide palette, you know, it's like I like a lot of different things, but just to answer your question specifically, I usually like girls from like 5'3" to 5'7". I like melanated women. They don't necessarily got to be fully black, you know, but you know, some degree. And then I just like big ass, big titties, and the face gotta at least be like a 6 or a 7, like cute, pretty-ish at the minimum.
so let's say she's 5'3", she's melanin, right? She left the
Okay.
house smelling like cocoa bush. She's melanin, right? She's
Yeah.
looking good, all this fat, everything. And you
Right.
walk up to her to introduce yourself, right? And let's say
Mhm.
you are objectively an attractive guy, right? 8, 9, whatever, right? Let's say you walk up to her, you talk to her, but the whole time you don't even know she just got played by an attractive guy. So she already has a perspective of you. Let's say you walk up to her and she rejects you. Whole time it was because of she just got played by another attractive guy. She perceived you to be a player too because of that guy. Do you not think that can be a situation where it's like, yeah, you didn't even have a chance to talk about game or you know
Yeah,
raise her interest through what you're
yeah.
saying because she just got played by an attractive guy and you have the perception of being a player already without even saying anything.
Yeah, and I think that's a real situation because I see it happen on the inverse, right? Some girls they get played by dudes that look like me or that look like you, and then they find some fat motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And they, you know, he catch her at the right time, and now you see a baddie with a girl that with a dude that look like, damn, how he get her? I see that all
Yeah,
the time. But
yeah,
what I will say is the same thing I'm gonna say about the fat guy situation. I mean, how many videos can you make about that shit? You already summed it up right here. That's my thing. You see what I'm saying? How many videos can you make about that? You address that one situation where I think it stops. I think it's gonna be the beginning stage of being rejected on the initial approach or interaction. I think it stops there, man. If the girl gave you the number and she actually starts engaging with you, it ain't no more, oh, she rejected me because of my looks. Nah, motherfucker, it's something you did, something you said. And that's my whole problem with a lot of those other
okay,
guys
yeah,
is they want to limit it
yeah,
to just that being the reason when
yeah,
really that's such a specific scenario that most women that you meet, and if they rejecting you to give this, that's why I call it a code message, to sit and make these videos redundantly. They make them over and over again as if that's the most common reason why handsome men is failing with women, and it's not. That's like, you can't convince me that every girl you done went up to in your life just so happened to got played by some good looking dude and she in that phase. I mean, most of these girls, they fucking insane. You know, they want to be with the Pookie and Ray Rays and the you know, the, or the Chads and the Tyrones. They want to keep doing it over and over, even when they get played. So you ain't gonna convince me, and I'm not saying you are trying to, but I'm talking about them. They ain't gonna convince me of that bullshit that you met some girl and every time it just so happens that, you know, she just got played and you was just too handsome. I just think that happens so, you know, such a small amount of time that I've even said that in videos. I've said that what you just said, but I ain't about to make a video about it. I ain't about to make a whole bunch of them on it. That's why I think they kind of milking it, and it goes from that being a specific reason to them just basically trying to take that reason and spread it all over with every time they get rejected and make you think, oh, it's because I look good or whatever. And it ain't that. You see what I'm saying? Nah, you need to fix something else about yourself. That's where my angle is. I think that's why I said it was like it's a niche, but I would say it goes beyond a niche. Like, you compared it to, you know, like the population of Black people. I think scenarios like that in general, or just what handsome game would be needed for in those type of situations, it's a micro niche. It's such a small set of guys that go through that again, I would find that a dude that's really handsome, he done probably figured that out in his life already, or he don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because there's other women. So that's my thing on where a lot of those dudes, and I think they recognize that, so they kind of just milk this message and kind of feed into guys' frustrations and try to make them think like there ain't really that much you can do to get that much better with women. You know, you just taking the L, bro, because women look at men this way, or that's why you shouldn't even care. And you know, it's like they either too far left, too far right. There ain't no middle ground balance, you know, that's necessary to actually improve with a lot of them.
Okay, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from with that. Obviously, there's certain situations, like if you check out my channel, I say that a woman could think, if you look a certain type of way, a woman could think you're swinging, you know, that way as well. So there's other reasons that a woman can reject you. It's not, I wouldn't say solely just that, but I completely get where you're coming from. Now let me ask you this question. Let's take an average guy with game and a handsome guy, but he doesn't have that he doesn't really have game like that. Who do you think is going to be more successful with women, would you say? And when I say that, I'm saying from a point of receiving a woman's full submission, and that's not a relationship, that's sleeping with a woman. So who's going to be more successful in receiving a woman's full submission? An average guy with game or a handsome guy with little to no game? Who do you think?
Y'all ain't gonna like my answer.
I just really want to hear your opinion on this, because I think it's really, because you created an emphasis on game. So it's a good question to really get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, I think the dude that's gonna be more successful, or he's gonna well, it depends on what you mean by more successful. I would say the guy
by like sleeping with the woman, because you could already say like, yeah, having a mouthpiece for a relationship may be better, but I'm saying specifically receiving a woman's full submission, which is sleeping with her.
Right, like trying to like do fast hookups.
Yeah, sleep with her, really. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough question to answer, only because you would have to understand, again, my understanding of game.
I can't really hear you too well, so I'm gonna go out the studio and come right back.
Okay. All right.
Hold up.
Let me read the chat while he gone. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all. Hey, my boys, I want everybody to drop the Dolphins right now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody drop the Dolphins. You already know what's going down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there y'all at. There y'all go. But yeah, they not about to like my answer. The handsome men brothers, they not gonna like my answer. Let me make sure he's good, because he said he was gonna come right back, and he not. Let me see if he hit me on. I'm about to text him. Make sure he's
good. Hello.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, basically. So who do you think will be more successful in sleeping with the woman and receiving her full submission? An average guy with game, or a handsome guy with little to no game, just sleeping with a woman?
All right. So remember, when I think of game, I'm just talking about a guy's game plan that has been successful, right? The more success you get from it, I would be like, oh, that's real game, right? Like, he's doing good, right? So when I hear that, when I'm taking it from that mindset, a dude that's average with game, like he's good at his approach, right? For him, he gonna sleep with more women. The dude that don't have no game is gonna be a very attractive guy who's going to talk himself out of the pussy every time. He's gonna do it every time because he don't have game. Meaning he doesn't have like a set game plan that actually works consistently.
You know what I should have added to the question, and I'm actually glad you brought that up. That's actually a good point you make right there.
Yeah.
Let's say what this would be a better way to structure the question. Let's say he doesn't have game, right?
Yeah.
But that I'm not saying that directly means he's a weirdo. He just doesn't have. He's not necessarily a loser, but he just doesn't have game. So he's just really just hey, how you doing? You know, did you watch the sports today? You know, just that type of stuff. He's not a weirdo, but he just doesn't have game. He's not the one who got the smooth stuff can say out the mouth. He just doesn't. That's what I'm saying. He's not necessarily a loser though.
Okay.
So
It might end up being
stuff, but he's also not saying like the crazy smooth stuff as well.
Yeah, there's so many factors here that it's hard to give answers to this because I know everybody's gonna lose their shit based off what I say. But
feel free. It's open over here. You can say whatever you want. These are your opinions.
Yeah. So just trying to visualize this, like I said, there's so many factors on what would give, for me to give a better answer, but just answering off of the strength of hearing that question, I would say they either end up about even or the dude who looks better. It depends on how good he really looks, right? But if he's like objectively just like very attractive to a lot of women, and you're saying he's just like normal baseline, like he's not super smooth, he don't come off like super confident, but he's just kind of like right in the middle, like normal.
Yeah.
As long as he knows how to at least escalate when the time comes, he's going to sleep with more women than the average dude with game. Off of hookups. The dude that the average guy though, he is going to be able to get more women that he actually wants though in the long term. And I say that not just talking about relationships, but dudes that know game, they know how to raise interest. See, dudes that's just real good looking and they know how to do that basic shit. Like if you watching, he about to hate me for saying this if he see this. If you watching like Fit X Fearless or something, I watched one of his videos. He got like interview riz. Like his riz is, like that SpongeBob, like, hi, I'm normal type of shit.
Like a job interview type shit.
Yeah. It's like, it's not really like he ain't got no drip for real. So, but he buff his shit, he got money, so he wear good clothes. I'm sure he smells good. He got money for good cologne and shit. He take care of himself. So he would do good in hookups, and I'm sure he does because off of just straight up attractiveness. But a dude that's average, but he got game and he got that mindset. He's in an abundance mindset of talking to a lot of different women and approaching and stuff like this. He's going to do better when it comes to raising interest and getting more women that he wants, because the dude that's going to be very attractive with that weak game and it's like he gonna be able to sleep with a lot of girls that just found him real attractive and he didn't fuck up that much. But the other dude, he'll meet a girl, he'll meet the minimal, and she might not sleep with him tonight like she would the attractive dude or even in a week. But the way he know how to play that game with her, 2-3 weeks, whatever the case, he'll be blowing that girl back out eventually because he know what to say and what to do. You know what I'm saying? He has the skills to make pretty much a lot of women that just give him a chance be attracted to him and really like him. He knows what to do. And it's like a real thing. He really has it's a skill like him playing basketball, like somebody playing basketball. He's that good at it. The other dude, to him, everything is going to seem like gray area. It's like it'll be like, like sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. He won't really understand what to do in any given situation. It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I don't know why. Whereas the guy with game, he would be able to assess and see, this is why this works, this is why this didn't. And honestly, the most deadly combination is a really good looking dude with game. Like he gonna feel like it's like taking candy from a baby. To be honest, that's how it starts to feel.
I 100% understand where you're coming from. I think basically from gathering what you said together, I think basically you're saying that a handsome guy he can have upfront success in terms of sleeping with a woman, but
yeah,
an average guy with a bit of game, he's actually going to be able to keep the woman around, keep the woman interested, because a handsome guy, let's say her interest was high based upon your looks, it's really just going to stay there because you're not really adding anything on top of the looks, is basically what you're saying. And with that being said as well, I think it's important to really identify what result we're trying to get men. And I think to do that, we need to kind of look at, in general, what do men want? women more so want relationships. Men just want to sleep with a bunch of women. I'm just saying.
A
Now
lot.
there's
Yeah,
going to
that's
be
true.
exceptions with religious people, etc. But I think men have always wanted to spread their seed, basically.
But I
And
think even religious dudes, man, at the very least, they want to have the ability, if they, you know what I mean, to meet girls that they want and know exactly what to do to
yeah,
smash her. Even if
yeah,
they don't want to smash a bunch
yeah.
of girls, they just want to have that skill.
I would actually agree with you with that 100%. So yeah, I think in general, no, I know in general, men they just want to basically spread their seed. Women more so look for relationships. So that's why it's important for me, because I do agree with what you said to a certain extent in terms of, yes, I do believe an average guy with game compared to a handsome guy with little to no game, the average guy will be able to maybe raise the woman's interest, whereas the handsome guy, the interest is going to really stay the same. But it's important to identify what we're trying to get for men. And when we want to do that, we look at what men want, which is to spread their seed. So it's
Right.
important to understand that the reason I'm kind of pushing the message the way I'm pushing it is to get men the result of sleeping with women. I'd push it a different way
Yeah.
if I wanted to get them the result of getting a relationship. If you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if that makes sense. That's basically that's basically the standpoint I have on that. Men really just want to sleep with a bunch of women, so that's really the type of information I kind of give them. Now, if I was trying to get these men to get in relationships, etc., then I'd kind of go from there. But is there any like question you have like specifically towards handsome men's game? Because I want to kind of speak for myself, because I think you kind of have an idea based off other people you may have watched or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I got a lot of questions. I do want to say one point off of what you're saying. I still think um when it comes to game, it's not, yeah, like okay, so this is the thing. The thing with guys that have game, like actual good game, even if they're just considered average in the face, right?
Yeah,
As long as they maximize in some other areas and they improve in some other areas, they can outshine a dude who's just genetically or whatever the case, like considered attractive, right? My thing is, when it comes to trying to sleep with a lot of women, it's more to it than just playing the long game. So when I look at this, like when I was sleeping, like I had a period, this was just earlier this year, and it's nothing to brag about because I got a video coming talking about why I would not do that bullshit again. And every time I do it, I tell myself I'm not. But anyway, had a little period sleeping with like 20 some girls in just like a couple months, right? During that time, it's
Can I
like,
ask a question?
yeah, go ahead.
Did you go to the doctor?
Did I go to the doctor? Of course.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure you ain't reckless out here, because I know some people who ain't who's gonna do that type of stuff and they don't give a damn. They're not going to the doctor or nothing. They're just, it is
Nah,
what
nah,
it is.
nah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
reckless. That's good. That's good. You're not reckless, but
Nah,
yeah.
nah. But during this time though, it's kind of like I look at it like investments. Like when you got like this, and this is why a lot of guys can't fathom the stuff I'm doing, because a lot of dudes got tunnel vision. They get like two numbers and they trying to focus everything on how to get both of these girls, or they get one number, right? Whereas for me, it's kind of like I got my hand in several pots at once and I know how to identify what's going on. So it's like with game, I meet girls and I can tell she perceives me like she think I'm attractive enough for whatever thing she value. I don't know if it's my nose, my big ass Dumbo ears. I don't know what it is, right? But
Yeah.
she gave me the number and she's talking to me. But then there's other girls that I meet that I can tell they have higher interests, right? So I kind of prioritize who I see and who I wanted to, and who I was like taking it there with off of that. You see what I'm saying? Whereas the girls that I could tell had this like, they liked me a little bit, but they wasn't like, oh, he the best thing ever. I knew how to raise their interest and kind of play like a longer game with them. And it's no sweat off my back because I'm smashing all these other girls. And then with her, I'm just keeping my hand in the pot. And I'll do that with several different girls. And eventually all of the shit start falling and hitting. So it'll be like, you sleep with 3 girls in 1 week. And it might be some girls from 3-4 weeks ago that you met that you don't raise their interest and they all fall at the same time. So now I went from 3 girls that was high interest to those girls I was already setting up stuff with and working out. You see what I'm saying? I kept my investment in there, building it up, raising their interest. All of a sudden that fall. Now that's another 3. But then at that same time, I done already approached a whole bunch of other girls the week before. So it's kind of like an exponential growth type of thing. I do my shit like a science almost. It's like I got 3 girls here. I got 2 main girls here. I'm meeting new girls. And then I got these other bitches I met 2 months ago that think that think I'm not nothing for real. But then over time, I don't flip the script on their ass and now they interested in me. And that's how you maximize, your ass intake, because you know how to raise women's interest while still banging the chicks that got high interest and then still keeping the other girls too. So your shit start multiplying. That's how you build rosters and rotations, and you'll have a whole bunch of different girls. Some of them you met 3 months ago, some of them you met 2 weeks ago, but based off their interest level, you know how to play the game to smash all of them. And it's no sweat off your back because you got so many other girls that you'll never come off needy. You never, it's no big deal. You know, it don't feel like a waste of time. Now it will feel like a waste of time if you only focusing on those girls with low interest. You see what I'm saying? Because now it's going to take you those 3-4 weeks and you'll get frustrated. You'll get mad. You know what I mean? Because it's not moving at the pace that you want it to. But what I do is, it don't matter to me that they not already here. I already got 5 to 10 other bitches that are. I'm going to keep fucking them, and I'm going to send her ass little nuggets, little texts, little responses, slowly raising that interest, engaging with her just enough. And then over time, I'm going to be able to fuck all of them too. You know what I'm saying? That's straight up like the ultimate game of just having so many, and it's just constantly falling. You see what I'm saying? But anyway,
let me see real quick if we're still good on the live stream. Are we still live?
Yeah, because I got these questions. I got some questions for you.
Yeah, we're still live. We're good. All right.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: what's the best thing you believe that men can do in today's society when it comes to dealing with women? And you kind of touched on this when I asked you the question: should handsome guys and average guys approach game the same way? You kind of touched on this already, but how do you think? I kind of want to ask you a similar question, but I want to kind of center it towards today's society with women, you know, the independent, the feminism movement. I don't need a man, you know, men can go to hell. You know, we don't give a damn about men, you know, even though men built society, men are out here, you know, keeping the lights on, keep doing all the hard, laborious jobs. Women are saying, we don't give a damn about men. How should men deal with women going into today's society? How should men deal with women? And that's for average guys and handsome guy.
So the first thing I would tell every guy, and this is the hardest pill to swallow, but it's the truth. Most women ain't shit. I would just already start trying to understand that, right? So you got to understand most women ain't
that's going to be a hard one for them to understand, because I think that's one of the number one things that's keeping men from progressing. I think men, that princess image we get of women on at early age, it's hard to get that out when it's been programmed into every film you've watched. Women are princesses. It's hard to get that out, but yeah.
Yep. So that's the first thing guys need to understand. And they need to, it's deeper than that, but that's just me summing up everything. But they really need to understand female nature, what women, you know, how women work and how they operate, and just the truths of the fucking world when you're dealing with women. Now, once you understand that, you start to change what your goals are with women and what you're looking for with women, right? So now you're not looking for that perfect good girl or that one or something. It starts to become this thing of, I don't want guys to be jaded to where they think that's impossible, but I prefer a mindset of not focusing on the outcome. And if you find a girl like that and she really proved herself over a long period of time, great, you could get in a relationship and do all that shit that you want to do. But I want guys to understand that's not going to be the norm, and that you can't build your life of what your fantasy of what your life should be off of that thought of the whole, you know, typical get married and the 2 kids and the, you know, the gated community and all, you know, all that shit that guys be thinking of. So that's the first thing they got to understand. Now, the next thing too is that because of this, they need to understand that a lot of women, or most women, especially today, whether if you influenced by Western, whether that's, you know, England or the UK or anything over there, Europe, and then you dealing with, you know, United States, Canada, all this shit, all of us gonna kind of deal with similar type of women in a similar type of mindset. It's gonna be kind of similar, that Western type of influence, right? Or like all the superpowers of the world pushing that same bullshit, right? So I would say the next thing you need to understand is women are flaky as shit because of that, because of all the female nature and stuff. You know, women always trying to find the best option, women getting told, you know, do what's best for them. They don't have much respect for men and all of this shit. You need to understand that they're going to be flaky as hell. So this is why a lot of guys meet girls on dating apps, they meet girls in person, whatever, and she disappear or some shit, or, you know, she go fuck it's a lot of times because she fucking some other dude, because she done met some other dude that she like better than you, whatever the case, right? So you got to understand that. The next thing I would tell a dude in the dating game is you need to do self-improvement. You need that, because one, that's going to give you the confidence when you talking to women to kind of be more of an arrogant asshole. And that's a lot of what women are attracted to. But also, It's going to optimize your options, because now that you're more attractive, you're going to act more attractive, which is going to attract more women. But also, you look better, right? You look better. You smell better. Your haircuts is better. Your money is up. Your fashion is better. Your body looks better. All of these different things, right? So self-improvement is like the first thing that guys need to do. Now, the next thing is they got to break that. Now, for some guys, that's going to be enough to get them out of that tunnel vision, scarcity mindset type of thinking where they only focus on one girl and they feel like they got lucky to meet this girl or something. But at this stage, you don't understood women ain't shit. Now you understand female nature and stuff like this. You understand women is flaky. And now you understand you got to maximize and be the best version of yourself to have a chance out here, right? Once you do all of that, for a lot of guys, this will start to create that abundance mindset, because you know, like, okay, I can't just talk to one girl. You know, she probably flake on me or something, right? Even if she won't, you just kind of think like that, right? So you'll talk to a lot of women and get over that fear of rejection. But a lot of guys, they won't. So what they need to do, and this is what I teach a lot too, they got to get used to approaching women and just being rejected, right? Not going in looking for the rejection, but getting used to talking to 100 girls, 150 girls, and not letting that shit break your fucking confidence. Because as you know, and I know, no matter how attractive we might think we are, or objectively the guys might look at us, or the girls, whatever, we know we still get rejected, right? The difference between guys like us, right, with that more like real man or high value or alpha, red, whatever you want to call it, mindset, is that when the girls reject me, I'll get rejected over and over, right? That don't shake my confidence or make me think no different way about myself. You see what I'm saying? Whereas the beta male dudes or the incels and the simps, they start to get into this mindset of like, oh shit, I got rejected a couple of times. You know, I must be ugly. And then they go looking for all this. You know what I'm saying? Those guys, they need to do that next. Now you get used to being rejected. This is what's going to let you start being more free in your conversation when you're talking to all these women. You'll start to talk in a way that's like, I might get rejected, I might not. I don't give a fuck. I look good now. I did self-improvement. I done had some success with girls. I know I'm that motherfucker, whether you reject me or not. You'll find that your success rate will go up because of that mindset that you're starting to have, because it's going to come out in how you interact with women, your confidence, your attitude, which is going to make women like you more, because now everybody knows women are attracted to confidence, right? So everything I'm saying is really the stages to build confidence and how to maneuver when dating. Now, the next thing is, you know, now when you're dealing with all of these different girls, you got to develop some discipline. And I'm gonna make this real short and sum this up. You got to develop discipline. A lot of guys' problems come in. They either think a girl is supposed to quickly give up the ass or go along with their program so quick, right? And if they don't, what do they want to do? They want to block her. They want to try to have real conversations with her and all of this shit. The best game that I always teach is indifference. You still talk with them, you still know how to show personality, but you never want to come off like you validating them and putting them on this pedestal, because when you do that, now you a fan in her mind, right? Use a simp in her mind. And what I find is guys that get to this stage, you done did the self-improvement, you got used to rejection and talking to a lot of women, they will naturally start to act like this. They start to have this mindset of like, you know, they really just don't care how things go. You see what I'm saying? And that is what's going to make it more likely when they deal with women to be indifferent. It's going to be easy because they're going to start looking at it like, oh, it's always a new girl. I always got a new girl. I always meet somebody new. You see what I'm saying? And I think from here, now let's say you got some girls' numbers, you've been talking to them, you played indifferent, right? You know, you're doing all of that stuff. Guys really need to learn escalation. They need to know how to have sexual energy and build sexual tension, which part of it is indifference, but there's other things too that go into sexual tension and stuff. When you get good at that, then you're really going to be unstoppable, because from the beginning, you always you know how to set the tone of sex without coming off weird and desperate, but you also don't play it so nice to where the women think that you a fucking beta male or you a nice guy that don't know how to take it there, right? It's a fine line. That's what I would tell guys they need to know how to do next, right? Escalating so they can actually take it there to sleep with girls, because a lot of women, no matter how much they like you, they will not initiate. A lot of women get taught not to take it to sex. They'll sit on the couch, they'll lay on the bed with you, they'll do everything, right? But if you don't know what to say and what to do to get her to take them clothes off, she won't do it. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm done. And if you got any questions, let me know. Or if you got your own perspective on this, I would love to hear it. But the next thing is, don't be so quick to give women the benefit of the doubt. And what I mean by that is, don't, just because you met a girl and everything's going well, or even if you got two girls, still don't jump to that fantasy land of this gonna be my wife or this gonna be everything. The best way to know what type of woman you're dealing with is through experiences with her and time. That's it. You cannot rush this. Guys want to skip to the end of the book and the end of the chapter before going through chapter 1, chapter 2, and the pages, you know what I mean, that's subsequent to that. You can't just jump to the end. Guys need to develop discipline and patience and not try to, and that's why I made the channel, because guys need to stop trying to focus on getting to that end result and just learning how to set things up how they want and letting women make their own choice and not be so quick to project their fantasy onto her. You know, just because she's listening right now and everything's going well in the first 3 months or 6 months, man, I don't have so many situations, long-term ones and everything. I know guys will look at me and be like, you know, they think ain't no way. Some of them that know, you already recognize. If you hear what I'm saying, you'll already know, because you know what I'm saying is true. But the main thing is, you don't know who you're dealing with unless you go through experiences with them. Guys need to stop handing out relationships. Guys need to stop letting women come into their life and they putting them on a pedestal, or they prioritizing them so quick. It's nothing wrong with giving your wife or your woman priority, but let her earn that shit so it doesn't be a detriment to you. Because every moment you waste talking and giving extra time that's not needed to some girl who ain't even proved herself, it's time you could have been working on yourself or working on your business or getting your money right. And now you don't waste the time because this girl might run off. You know what I'm saying? And now you wasted time that could have been going into you, and you left with nothing. You see what I'm saying? So guys need to really take their time. It's nothing wrong with having 2 girls that you date for 3-4 years. If it take you that long to figure out if you want to take it to the next step, that's guys where they got to be. So I just kind of laid it out in a general sense from the beginning of confidence in women to the end. But that's my philosophy on how I look at it.
What's crazy, just to piggyback of the last thing you said, women will do that easily. They'll have 3-4 guys they're talking to. So it's like men kind of need to start to step up and
they don't feel bad neither.
Yeah, they don't feel a damn. They don't feel no type of way. No type of way. That's why if you catch them cheating, a lot of time, I haven't personally been in this situation, but I know people have been in this situation. They don't even have regret. They act like they didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They act like you're in the wrong. You were inadequate. That's why I cheated. You know what I'm saying? That type.
And they believe it too. That's what's crazy. I used to think they was lying when they did that, but I've gone through. I ain't never been cheated on, but I've gone through experiences like, you know, girls talking to other guys, and she told me, you know, unsolicited. I didn't tell her that she wasn't allowed to talk to other guys, but they tell you, they'll be like, yeah, I'm not talking to nobody. You talking to other bitches, you talking to this, trying to figure you out, and then you'll catch them doing it. You'll be like, bitch, why was you asking me about what I'm doing? And for no reason, you told me you only talking to me. I didn't even tell you had to say that, but then I catch you doing some other shit, and they'll come up with every excuse and every lie. But what those situations taught me was they're all sluts. They're all thoughts. They all hoes. And I just look at it like, until she do all that work to prove to me that she's not, and you really compatible with my life, you gonna always just be something that's there, you know, but I ain't gonna promote you to that next level. And I'm damn sure not moving in with your ass or living with you, none of that shit, until I feel like every box is checked off. And even then, I still probably won't move in with your ass. But that's just how I look at it. And I don't feel bad. I made a video on that telling guys morality and dating don't mix. If you're trying to come over here, and I'm religiously growing up, I'm a Christian, guys, but I'm trying to tell you, in this modern day, if you looking for this honesty shit and all this stuff, and you walking around, saying a silent prayer before you go on a date, and all of this shit, I'm telling you, you're gonna get fucked up out here. You're gonna get fucked up. You will meet a girl. This is the crazy thing. They'll meet girls, these Christian dudes. I feel bad for them, because they'll go into it trying to be honest, and they'll meet girls that will actually play religious, and they might go to church. They be the biggest sluts. Those be the biggest freaks, the girls in the church and stuff. I had a girl, I told my guys this girl came over to my house. I fucked her the second date. That was the second date. I fucked her that night, right? Craziest part, she gets up. I'm telling her how she got to leave or whatever. I'm like, oh, what you going to do tomorrow? She like, yeah, I got to go home too, because I got to get up early in the morning for church and all of this stuff, right? This is some religious girl that dresses modest. She was very covered up. You know what I'm saying? So if I didn't understand how women were, I would have thought, oh, this is some modest girl. I can't get her. But I already knew, use a hoe until you prove me otherwise. What did she do when she came back to my place? She was bouncing on the dick the whole night, and then got up and went to church the next morning, knowing that she just swallowed cum. You know what I'm saying? And she prayed to the Lord in there. Like, that's what they do, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the craziest thing as well, because like earlier last year, one of the girls I was messing with, I'm not even gonna get too deep into it because it's not necessarily something I want to pile down on YouTube, but she was also in like Bible study, that type of thing, etc. So it's kind of crazy, like a woman can be in that type of lifestyle, but that showed me as well, like, okay, So I'm not gonna base this on all women, but I do think it's best for you to probably base it on all women to protect yourself. But
Yeah.
because I've not really dealt with too many religious women, but when I seen that, like she was in Bible study, etc., that showed me that okay, a woman can have a relationship with God. Well, what she considers a relationship with God,
Right.
and
Yeah.
still be on that type of, and she can still be on that type of path, like doing that type of stuff and still be with God. It's not just women who are Satanists, etc. It's not women who are like that. A religious woman could believe in God, well, what she believes, and still be doing that type of stuff. Now, to touch on something you mentioned as well, you basically said men should stop basically looking at a fantasy. Stop,
Yeah.
don't get with a woman and already be picturing the kids, a happy ending. Don't do that. And I 100% agree with you, because to go back to what I said at the start, I believe if most men, the reason most men do that is because of the princess image. I think if these men knew what women were really on out here, they would not be trying to look into the future, saying this is going to be we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. If most men knew how women operate, they would not be looking at stuff like that. So I 100% do agree with that. Like men dealing with women, because you pretty much touched on a lot of stuff, and I appreciate you going in like that. You touched on a lot of stuff, so I'm not going to go too deep with this topic, but with men in general, I do believe if they approach women with their guard up, they're gonna be a lot more successful. Because I believe men, because of the princess image, they think women are innocent, can't do no harm, and they go into dealing with women with their guard down, and they end up looking bad. They end up looking crazy because they get played by the woman, and it's your fault. You went in there with your guard down, and then they might find you or someone like me, for example, watch our content as a reason as to why women are this, why women are that. But all the time, you went in there with your guard down. You shouldn't have went in there with your guard down. You should have known, well, maybe you didn't have the information, but it's better to know what women are actually out here doing. And then it's
Yeah.
a lot harder for you to get played. But I want to ask you one question. Are you aware of what no contact is?
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah,
Everybody talking about it.
okay. And I made a video. The reason I'm asking you this question, because I made a video basically saying, if you're an average guy doing no contact, you're basically tripping. I basically said that you're tripping. You're not a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? You're not this, you're not that. So for you to go no contact is basically going to be useless. I basically said that. And I said, as a handsome guy, you go no contact is basically, is I don't know if it was this specific video I touched on this point, but I basically believe a handsome guy, no contact, okay, that actually might work for you because you've got something in place. And even then, I'm pretty sure I said in the video, no contact will be hard for a handsome guy too if you don't have the money as well. No contact is really the best for people who've got the money, the looks, all that. No contact will work for those type of guys at high rate. But if you're an average guy, I'm not going to text her, I'm not showing her validation. You can lose a girl that way easily. I know me personally, I've lost girls doing no contact when way back in the day, not way back, but like a year or two ago, I lost girls doing the no contact before I built certain things in my arsenal to make myself a better man. I lost certain girls doing the no contact when I didn't have certain things going on. So I even learned as a guy that no contact, even if you're handsome or not, can be detrimental if you don't have the money, etc. So do you think average guy shooting himself in the foot doing no contact?
I think you got an interesting perspective. I personally, I've never heard nobody come at it from that angle. My mindset on it is a little different. So when I think of no contact on my channel, I always teach guys, game and everything is about getting in the woman's head. That's what you're trying to do. That's the key. Like if you're dealing with women, there's even a scripture in the Bible. It's in the apocrypha books, but it still came from like the original manuscripts of the Bible. It says that a woman with a mind well instructed is the most valuable thing. So everything when it come down to women, you trying to get here. You want to get in here and basically be in charge of her thoughts in her own head, though. Like not you commanding her what to do, but she think about you and what you want so much.
Okay.
That's where you get all the power, right? And that's basically what all my strategies and everything I teach ends up getting the guy, right? When I think of no contact, I do agree that an average guy or even a handsome guy, if you go no contact, especially too fast, too soon in the beginning with a girl, you will lose her. But it's not because of the other stuff you said. Now, do I think if you got your money right or whatever and all of that stuff, going no contact would help or it could be more beneficial to you? I do agree with that. But I don't want to tell guys that they need to get their money up for no contact to work. A lot of dudes, you need two things. So the main thing with the no contact or pull, I call it the pull back, right? You pull back on the bitch, but It's basically like you have to have that mental connection there. And when I say that, I'm not talking about having deep conversations and none of this shit. It's basically the experience that you give the girl when you with her that she's gonna value, so that when it's gone, now she wants to chase after that. That's what makes no contact effective. So a lot of guys, they want to pull back before they done got in the girl's head. You never do that. You never do that. You pull back once you done got here, and you got here from how she'll start to act. So she'll go from, she likes you, she make conversation, she shows up on the dates. Y'all might even have had sex and stuff like this, but you'll really know where no contact will work because she's going to start doing all the pursuing and all the initiating. She'll hit you up first in the morning with a good morning. She'll hit you up at night. She's going to always ask when she can see you. And now if you do some no contact shit, whether you have money or not, you'll see that girl turn into a fucking dog trying to chase after you like you a damn steak or a damn snack or something, right? She'll be on you after that. So I think the main thing about going no contact or ignoring a girl and not texting back, it's of no value if you ain't made that impression on her and got her mind yet. You see what I'm saying? You got to have that experience. Now, to get the experience, and I'm gonna keep this brief because guys can go watch my videos for this. I talk about having a masculine aura, a masculine frame, and also it's gonna go down to the seduction. I really think with women, the key is all gonna come down to the sexual tension and how you build that when you dealing with her, because that's the shit that women get addicted to, bro. It's like they go into it with this mindset of they feel like they can get sex from anywhere. So many guys is hitting them up, you know what I'm saying? But the way you carry yourself, it's like this balance between that indifference. It's the balance between the indifference that you don't give a fuck about fucking this girl which makes her feel like, okay, he must have other girls he already fucking or something going on because he not that desperate, or thirsty to have me like other guys. So that's one part. Now, the other part is now you got your conversation skills is on point, right? So when you talk to her, you know how to make good conversation. She might laugh a little bit. That don't mean you talk a lot. It just mean that all your words count. That's all it means, right? Whenever you talk, that's one part of it. Now, the next thing is the seduction. If you know how to create sexual tension and seduce women, right? All of this shit is the shit that's going to get in their head. Now, if your ass go no contact, I call it she's addicted to that dopamine that she gets from you. You want her addicted to the feeling that she get every time she get a text from you, every time she hears something from you. And all of that's going to come from the experience and the way you make her feel when she's with you. Now that you pull back or you go no contact, now she going to lose her shit because she feel like I got to have that feeling again. You see what I'm saying? So I do think an average guy can do it without money because I seen it. I seen it in my whole life. That's where I'm from, bro. And I trying to go. I don't know what y'all call it in the UK. But y'all say from the slums or something? I don't know. But I ain't saying I'm a street guy, but I come from that type of life, like the ghetto, the hood, the street, bad neighborhoods and shit. It's just seeing niggas just be niggas, right? Like just doing shit. These dudes didn't have nothing. They didn't have no money or nothing, but they just learned game on basically how they would manipulate women. They knew how to create sexual tension and basically have a girl feel comfortable being a fucking slut and a freak for this guy, and then he would still disappear on her ass and not respond and all of this stuff, and she'll go fucking crazy. It's like a little mind game, you know what I'm saying, that you got to know how to run on these girls. And I think that's where no contact is valuable. You pull back on a girl who's addicted to the feeling that she get with you, simply put.
Yeah, and I think that comes back to being self-aware. It comes to it overall. I think we can look at this situation and we can get something out of it, which is just self-awareness, because I think you have to be self-aware as an average guy or a handsome guy. Like I said, with my experience, I hadn't built certain things up within myself to be going that hard with no contact. So I had to realize I had to be self-aware and kind of know when to go no contact, how long to, those type of things. So it does come back to being self-aware, because if you're an average guy and you're not really bringing too much to the table and you're going no contact, you have to have value to make her feel some type of way about the no contact. Because if you're not a valuable guy, you're not got nothing about yourself that she would miss from you going no contact. She'll just go to the next guy. She'll not even go to the next guy. The next guy's already there waiting for his turn.
And I think that's not cutting you off. I'm gonna say this real quick. Actually, I think when you say, you basically saying they just got to have more value than what they already are, right? That made her like you to begin with. You need more value. I think going the money route is a feasible solution for a lot of guys. Some guys, man, they will never have the seduction or the sexual, energy and charisma that I might have, or you, or whoever, right? For some guys, they ain't gonna be able to get it. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be able to learn it. Fine. If that's you, then I would tell you straight up to listen to what the brother is saying, get you some money or something else. You can't, like I said, pick a struggle. You can't struggle in every area. You gotta pick something. And if you can't get the sexual seduction and all this stuff on point, you do need to have something else going for you that women value. Now, what I will say is sexual tension, man, is sexual tension and your masculine frame and your presence when you with a woman, that's gonna trump all of that. That guy that knows how to do that, he is going to have, this is a dude that can be broke. This is where you see this at. The Pookie and Ray Ray type of guys, or even if it's a Chad and he, you know, he real attractive, but he don't got a lot of money. This is where you see these guys getting girls obsessed with them to that extreme, because the girl likes how they look, but then the way they carry themselves when they with the girl just cannot get enough of that feeling. But the fact that he never give it to her all the way, he never give her enough time and attention, is what makes her fall in love and chase that guy. That's gonna be the best feeling you can and experience you'll have with a woman. The guy that's doing that over a guy with money, he always gonna be better. That girl, you can go fucking homeless and she'll sleep in the box with you. She ain't gonna do it forever now. Don't go fucking crazy, but she'll do it. She'll do it for 6 months. She'll do it for 6 months in the box with you and be out there sucking your dirty dick at night with them same Fruit of the Loom draws that you got on. She'll do it every night. But if you got money and you lose your shit and everything was built off of that, you're going to lose that girl when you lose your money. So I think the way I go about it, this is going to help a lot of guys who kind of don't want to feel like they got to have all this money. They don't want to do all this external shit. They want to do just enough to where this woman is like, man, I love the way this guy acts or how he is, his personality. And that's what I'm trying to get guys to, because I feel like that's what a lot of guys really want. Because if you lose your money in the other way, well, now she's not going to care. You see what I'm saying? But it still can work, though. It can still work. You know, it depends on what outcome you want. And I don't judge nobody, because everybody want different outcomes, you know?
Yeah, that's why even in one of my recent videos as well, I said to guys, actually become that guy instead of trying to act like you're that guy. Because if you actually become that guy, she will crave you when you go. But if you were just playing around the whole time, she's not going to miss you. She's actually going to be glad she got rid of you. So I'd actually say become that guy now. We are reaching towards 2 hours here, and damn near got 80 people in here, or we damn near had 80 people in here. So
on my end, I had like 50 something, 60. I'm at 57 now.
Yeah, it was on 8. It was on damn near on 80. So damn near got 100 people have tuned in.
I still got some questions on the handsome man side. I'm good to keep going. If you are, I'm enjoying this.
I'm good to keep going, but I have got to like wrap it up a little bit shortly, because I've got
okay. What time you got to get off? Just so I can kind of prioritize some of the questions I got.
I say another kind of gotta be let's just keep going for now. I don't want to give a specific time. I don't want to ruin the flow. Let's just keep going for now. But I want to should we get some of these guys involved as well if they have any questions? Because
let's do it like that too.
If you guys have any questions, make sure to drop them down for either one of us. We want to get some of you guys involved as well. Can you add people to this?
I'm not sure. I've never used StreamYard, so I don't. I think you can. I think if you drop the StreamYard link in the chat, I think there's some way they can like come in and like join in or something, and they'll be at the bottom, and you can kind of pull them up when you want, I believe.
Okay. If any of you guys in here know if that's the case, then we'll continue for now though. But
okay. All right, and for all my guys that got questions, you already know what we on. Go ahead, drop the dolphins in the chat with your question, just so I can distinct who's asking a question and just talking. So if y'all got a question, put the dolphin emoji with y'all stuff.
Yeah, it's been a good stream that we kind of answered the intent. Like it was kind of the intense parts were at the start where we kind of challenge each other. But I think now it's more so how we can help the guys improve overall. But we kind of got our back and forth. We've kind of had that.
And I think we came to a consensus in some areas. I think think we actually agreed a lot more than I thought we would.
Yeah, I think we do. We agree on a lot more points than it may have seemed than it may have seemed. But yeah, definitely. And so, as well, I think we both kind of. I think because you may have judged something based off one of my videos, and I may have done the same to you based off because you only had that one hand. I was kind of looking for if you spoke on it as well. You pretty sure you only had that one video, so I think we kind of didn't really understand where it was both coming from. But I think we've kind of got mutual understanding. I think a lot of our disagreements came from not having a mutual understanding. But I think we pretty much agree with each other on a lot of these points. But yeah, is there any questions specifically? You said because since you said
I got some. So one question I got is, what would you say qualifies a man as being someone who needs or fits the criteria of handsome man's game, right? So it's
Okay.
like, how would it like how what would you say, like, how does he know if he's should be a part of handsome man's game, basically, right?
Okay.
Or
So
follow after
one.
it?
Okay. So one, if you're an introvert, you're gonna have to go and deal with women. That's straight off the bat. But if you're someone who the only person who said you're handsome is your mother, then you're probably not that handsome. Let me be real. If you think you're handsome and the only person who said that is your mother, you're probably not handsome. So I say that. I say one objective way to get in. It's very niche, but if you are handsome, you should be able to monetize your looks. I'll say that. That's how a guy
Okay.
can know he's attractive. If you're able to monetize your looks, whether that's if you're able to pick up a camera, because in today's generation as well, people will watch you just because they might find you attractive as well.
That's
There's
true.
probably male YouTubers, you probably have a majority female fan base. So I say generally, if you're able to monetize your looks, you're someone who's objectively attractive, because you can't be subjectively attractive. For example, let's say Gucci was doing a campaign for some of the items, so some of their clothing items. Let's say they were doing a campaign. They're not going to pick someone who's subjectively attractive, someone who has a niche attraction. They're going to pick someone who's objectively attractive to most people, so they can generate the most sales. So I say, if you're able to
That's true.
monetize off of your looks, whether that's modeling, whether that's fitness as well, because you can actually do a lot with fitness, being an attractive guy. Whether that's fitness, if you're able to monetize off of your looks, I would say that you are attractive. Now, some guys may be more of an introvert, so they may not be looking to do that. But I say, if you're able to do that, if you have the chance to do that, then yeah, that's a clear way to know off the bat. Now, with women, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't really hear too many people say this, but dating apps. And the reason I say dating apps is because, let's say you're dealing with women in person, there's only so many women you can touch, you can deal with, like, and when I say touch, I mean like see in person,
Yeah.
right? In arm's distance, arm's reach, right? So dating apps is a great way to know generally and have a wide scale of women and know what type of woman you're matching with on these apps. Because I say for men, they'll kind of base their attraction on, did I sleep with her or not? Men were logical, so we'll base whether she's attracted on us based on if she slept with us or not. But I don't say that's necessarily true. For example, you might be a handsome guy on the dating apps and you might be matching with these 7s or 8s, but you might not have certain things in order to convert the 7s or 8s
Yeah.
to someone who's in your bedroom. So I'd say guys can use dating apps to see the type of woman I'm matching with and know, okay, if I get my money up, physique, whatever it may be for them, then these are the type of women I can actually sleep with and convert them to someone who I'm sleeping with in my bedroom. But if it's just with the dating app specifically, you can experience that. Whereas if you're just dealing in person, you're not gonna be able to see that many women. So I say that's how you can know you're attractive, really.
I like that answer. I like that. And that's why I think, I would love for like Justin J. You know who he is?
Yeah, I see
Yeah, I
what
would
you're
love for Justin or Ty Worldwide and the other guys. I would love for them to do like a survey or a poll with their community. And it's
saying.
just like, how many, matches do you get? And what do those girls look like? I'm telling you, you will see that those motherfuckers is not
Oh, like,
attractive in their comments, bro.
yeah, I'd put it. I'm gonna lie, I'd put it up right now on stream, but I don't know if that's legal or if I can
Yeah.
show that on
Nah,
YouTube. Or anything
no,
like that.
I would believe you. I'm talking about I'm talking about those dudes, their fan base. Those all them people that subscribe to them. That's
Oh,
also
their matches.
yeah. I would love to see the people, the
Okay.
guys that watch Handsome Man's Game and they self-diagnosing that they handsome. I would love to see they matches, because if they saw mine and the shit that I get or yours, they would be like, okay, maybe I'm not handsome because
I'm not gonna lie. That's definitely true. But I say that, and then yeah, that's basically it. But let's answer this question: how to build sexual tension. Do you want to take that one first, or?
yeah, I can. How to build sexual tension. So one part of sexual tension, guys, is with women, because y'all got to understand this, the framework of women, how they think. So for women, they think, they don't view sex the same way that men do. And this is because it's easily accessible to them. Women learn, I'm talking when they kids, right? Like he was saying, women learn a lot of this shit early in their own life, right? So when girls are young, they recognize I'm pretty, and because I'm a girl and I have something that boys won't. They learn that shit early. They 10, 11, 12, 13 and shit. They learn that shit early. So the way that they look at sex is not the same as guys. Guys feel like we got to you actually have to learn what to do, what not to do. You got to build yourself up and all of this stuff so you can get it. Whereas women, they get it for no reason.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna go back to this question really quick, just to give a quick take on that. Let me get this up right here.
Well,
I'm
I
gonna.
didn't land my plane yet. I was seeing you look confused,
Okay.
so I
Okay.
was
Okay. My bad. My bad. I
okay.
fully finished. You can
Yeah, so
continue.
yeah, so because of this, a lot of women are turned off by guys who come off thirsty for ass. You see what I'm saying? A lot of
Yeah.
women are attracted to guys who come off like they already get it. And the best way I can tell you this is to come off indifferent. That's the best way. I got videos on that. Is about, letting your indifference raise her interest. So a lot of guys think raising interest comes down to, oh, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say that. Well, what a lot of you guys, what you need to do is you can still converse with women, but just don't show your hand as much. A lot of you guys, you go on a date, for example, and when you get home, she'll say, I had a good time. You want to say, oh, I had a great time too. Can't wait to see you again. Don't say shit like that. Just when she says I had a good time, glad to hear it. Hope you have a good night's rest, bitch. Don't say the bitch part, but just, the other part.
Yeah.
Stop making it so obvious that you like these girls. If you learn how to just kind of conceal your hand and play it more cool, you're gonna have the upper hand on her. And what you're gonna do is, if she thought, he kind of cute, she wasn't that crazy about you, but she liked you enough, you'll start making her really think like, damn, what this motherfucker got going for himself? He must get other women. He must have something going on, because he not that desperate to get this ass, and all these other dudes, they desperate to get it. And that's going to already start making her just trying to figure you out more. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
also playing indifference, guys, is talking less, right? And you was talking about that too. Talking less, because now you don't have to say that much, right? Answer the questions. Don't go too far with trying to be mysterious to where you come off unnatural, but you don't have to sit. She asks you about, oh, where'd you go to school at? Right. If y'all from the same town and you never knew her before, she might, oh, where'd you go to school? Well, I went to Southwest, this and that elementary. And then after that, my best friend, Tony, I met him. A lot of you guys talk too much. Answer the question. You say, yeah, I like the school. What about you? Where'd you go? Flip it right back on her. Keep her talking as much as you can. Now, the next thing is, a lot of you guys, your tonality of voice when you talk to women is like the same way you talk to your bros, the same way you talk to your grandma, shit like this. You don't want to talk like that. You don't want to talk like that. Y'all got to get rid of your 2K, Fortnite, Madden voice when you in there screaming, hitting them higher octaves. You guys need to talk more chilled, laid back, and comfortable and relaxed. One, it shows confidence. You're not nervous and shit. Again, this is showing women he's not thirsty for the ass. He's not scared. And he's also not a guy that has never done this before. He gets women of my caliber. That's what you're basically showing her when you're acting like this. Now, the next thing is, so a lot of it is not about saying sexual stuff. So that's one thing. It's your body language, being more calm, more indifferent, more masculine, more in control of your emotions and how you feel, as if you've done this before. And if you haven't done it before, fake it till you fucking make it. I tell you guys this all the time. Now, the other side of it is this. You have to basically you can't be afraid to make a move on a girl. A lot of you guys, y'all do all of this other shit right. I got guys like this because I do consultations. They will tell me, man, I get girls back to my place, nothing happens. I'm like, yeah, because you ain't fucking make nothing happen. You see what I'm saying? And then those girls lose interest. One thing that a lot of guys are scared to do, first date. I say this on the first date, and even if before the date, if you think this girl, from how you perceive it, has real high interest, ask that girl to come over for the date. She might say no, but what you establishing is heavy. You are establishing, I want to hang out with you one-on-one. Any girl that's thinking that, she already hears that. She already knows, oh yeah, he trying to fuck, and he not scared to take it there. You establishing that early. You'll have her mind thinking about it. Right now, she thinking if she want to fuck you, or what she gonna wear, what kind of panties she gonna put. She already thinking of it. And even if she don't come over, you done established it. So now that y'all go on a date and y'all hang out, ask her again. She'll come back this time. You see what I'm saying? You done established it. Always ask a girl back to your place. I don't care if you just met her 3 days ago. If her interest is real high, when you talk to her on the phone or whatever, just try to say like, man, I can't really go out this day, but I got time for you to come over. We could just drink, have a little drink. We could watch a movie and just talk. She might say, no, I don't go to guys' houses or whatever. Now, her comfort level ain't there. You just say, okay, fine. Well, here, I'll find a place for you. You just keep going. A lot of guys are scared to even do that. But just doing that, she'll think to herself, oh yeah, he trying to fuck me. So now she's trying to figure out, okay, if I go with this guy, I know he's going to ask me back to his place. If she show up, guys, I'm telling you, this is a girl that understands you want to fuck. All of those other things I told you, you building it right there. Ask her back to your crib after y'all hang out. and make your fucking move. Stop sitting there waiting for girls to do it. If you get little moments to try to throw in some little sexual innuendos and stuff, learn how to do it without coming off like a creep, but also not coming off thirsty, and knowing how to do it in like a playful way. You see what I'm saying? Little shit like this, just establishing that, and then also just the indifference, playing it cool. It's all about balancing this shit. Because if you go too far with any of them, like you said, if you do no contact too early, or you too indifferent, now you boring, or she lose interest. But if you too sexual, now you a thirsty motherfucker. She don't want that neither. You guys got to find a fine line. A lot of you guys, you either want to go far right or far left, right? You either boring this shit on the date, looking like a serial killer, Ted Bundy or some shit, or you a fucking goofball trying to be Eddie Murphy. You got to find a balance. That's the main thing with all of this shit. But the sexual attention is not built off of always trying to be sexual and shit. It's more about how you carry yourself and taking your opportunities, and when they come up, and not being scared to take it to sex, even if she says no in that moment.
Okay. Let's get another question on here real quick.
I'm gonna let you handle this one.
Okay. Why women don't like nice guys? So okay, I'm gonna give just a brief answer. Why women don't like nice guys? Because nice guys can often be people pleasers, and I think nobody in general likes a people pleaser, someone who's trying to be what women will call a pick me. And I think nice guys often come across as pick me's, because women aren't stupid. Women know there's an ulterior motive to your nice behavior. So that's really why women don't like nice guys, because they have their guard up with nice guys as well, because they know that you're being nice for a certain outcome. They know that there's men who are going to be aggressive with what they want, and they know there's men who are going to be nice and kiss ass to get what they want. So if you're a nice guy, they kind of perceive you as someone who's just trying to be a people pleaser just so you can sleep with a woman. Now let's get to the next one. You can take this one.
Opinions on NoFap and corn. I would teach guys not to watch corn. I don't watch it. Now, I never had to go through like watching NoFap videos and all that stuff to stop. I'm probably just a sick motherfucker in the head. I watched so much shit that one day I was just like, I just don't even feel like watching this no more. I started to I always wanted, when I would watch that stuff, it would make me want to go get the experiences. You know what I'm saying? Now I did have like a little pact with my cousin that was like, man, when it came to NoFap, we was just kind of like, man, I ain't busting no nuts unless it's with a bitch. That's what my thing became. And that is actually really good for a lot of you guys, because what it'll do, instead of saying, oh, I'm doing semen retention, where a lot of you guys, you won't do nothing with nobody, doing it the way I just said, it'll teach you to at least work, you know what I'm saying, for getting it, instead of you laying in the fucking bed or some shit by saying, oh, I'm not going to release nothing unless it's with a woman. Well, now you got to go out here and get your game up. You got to improve yourself. You see what I'm saying? It's more beneficial. So it's like, at least you did the work for it.
Definitely. And I just to bounce off that real quick, I'd say specifically for a handsome guy, the stuff you're watching in the porno, you can actually go and really start going out there and doing that. If you apply yourself. With an average guy, it might take a bit more. You can do it too, but it might take a bit more. So a handsome guy, it's a lot. You really don't have that much excuse to be watching it when, any guy can go and do it in real life. But as a handsome guy, you kind of got that edge with your looks. But
it's going to make you more weird.
Yeah.
It's going to make you more weird.
And also real quick as well, I'd say to just go on NoFap, right? Because a lot of you guys who are doing that type of stuff on those type of websites, you go straight to semen retention. You haven't even learned to stop going on that site. You want to go straight to semen retention. Start with NoFap and say, when I want to do this, like Ryan D said, I'm going to go get it in real life. Let's get another question up here. What do you say when you're talking to a girl and she says, oh, you a hoe? How do I shut down dumbass disrespect like that and pivot to, yes, I do talk to other women. No, you're not the only one. I'll say real quick, then I'll let you say what you want to say. You've got to just shut that down straight away. The longer you leave it, the more awkward it's going to be when you bring it up. And it's going to make you look worse as a man, because it's going to make you look like someone who can't check something right then and there. And it makes you look like you're feminine if you had to wait to check her. So you have to check it right then and there. And yeah, that's really the language. I'd say check that, because you don't want a woman kind of talking to you like you're a bro, because then she can lose respect for you. And you got automatically after that pivot to, I say pivot straight away. I say you don't have to. Yeah, pivot straight away to, yes, I do talk to a woman, and then basically check her about talking to you like that. But what do you have to say about that?
I would say, I like that last part you said, so I'm gonna repeat that part again. But what I would say is, if a girl say, oh, you a hoe, or trying to play it like I talk to a lot of women or something, the way I am, guys, like you said, that's dumbass disrespect. I would hope that don't come out in your attitude with the woman, because one thing I learned is you never want to let women, see that the things that they do really bother you that much as far as how you react to it. That does not mean don't check it. So I still agree. Immediately address that, but just make sure you do it in some sort of, it's serious, but you ain't like blowing up type of
Yeah,
way, you know. So you never want to do that. I personally kind of play the real lighthearted because I get that one often. You know, like I was actually just with a girl and she was basically like, "Oh, you about to leave me or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah." She like, "Oh, you going with your other bitches?" I know you talking to other, you know, trying to play this type of thing. And I always just play it. I'm like, "What you talking about? What you mean?" You know, I'm like lighthearted. And right when they say what they mean or whatever, "Oh, I know you're kind," or whatever. And I'll be like, I mean, yeah, I talk to other women. I do. I go right into that. I'm dating other women. You know what I'm saying? I ain't lying to nobody. I'll say it like that. But you guys got to learn how to control the interaction and the temperament of it. You can't control what the woman say. So don't get into one of those guys that's micromanaging everything. But you can control the temperament of it. So if the woman is so serious and stuff, learn how to control the conversation in the temperament of it. In the you see what I'm saying? Like the attitude of everything, the energy of it, it's all gonna fall on you. Don't play into her. Keep that shit lighthearted, or even if you want it to be serious, you make it serious. You see what I'm saying? You control that shit. So that's how I would do it.
I definitely agree with that as well. And what you said right there, the way you put yourself in that scenario where you checked her, it was cool, calm, and collected, and it seemed like you're on some grown man timing as well. It's not like you're emotional little girl when you're checking her. Like, don't say that to me. No,
Right.
like,
yeah, don't do stuff like that.
Best job. Wait, hold on. Let me get this comment up right here. I'm gonna try to get through some of these. Best jobs to pull women. I say definitely in the modeling industry would be a good place to pull women, and a fitness trainer as well. That's a really good job if you're as a guy to pull, not to necessarily pull women because you gotta be professional, but you can meet a lot of women and it can go from there. But I say definitely don't become a personal trainer just to pull women, but definitely those
You'll
guys
be fired.
yeah, those guys are dealing with a lot of women. Now, this question specifically for you, I'll let you take that.
On the one before that, I would also say anything that's like sports, entertainment, music industry stuff, because you probably don't know this, but I sing and I do music, and I've done stuff like on a bigger scale, like with major artists and stuff like this. Anytime I've been in those settings, LA and Hollywood, and I'm with like celebrities or at their houses, just posting shit like that, you start getting swipe ups from girls that you don't even fucking talk to. You know what I'm saying? When I would sing at different places or colleges and schools, the reception I would get from those girls, they was treating me like a celebrity, like even though I wasn't, but just because I was on that stage doing that and they were down here, they looked at me. So anything like that is going to help. Modeling, like you said, you know, stuff like that. That's going to be great.
And then and then someone has this question for you right here.
Key to reinventing yourself. Oh, that's a good question. TJ, name look familiar, but I think you're in my Discord. I'm pretty sure you asked me this question. I want to say, but or maybe not. But to keep this real brief, because y'all know I will fucking talk, but I'm gonna keep it real short. The key to reinventing yourself, bro, is I'm gonna take this from the angle of, you know, you going to like college or something or university and you trying to be different here with these girls compared to, you know, when you was in grade school or high school and stuff. For one, you gotta find something that you can maintain, right? So it's like if you're gonna try to change how you act, for example, right? Like you watching me or whoever, and you're like, you know, I got to change how I'm dealing with women like this. You got to find a happy medium of what you can maintain long term compared to you just totally faking who you are, because you ain't gonna reinvent shit if it's not something you can maintain. Another thing is you actually have to do different things. So the way I like to look at stuff is it's all in the mindset, right? When you're trying to elevate, you know, or go to the next level, it's in the mindset. But a lot of the stuff that you think about is going to come from the stuff that you're actually doing. So for example, if right now you want to start thinking more about finances, you ain't gonna just start, you know, telling yourself, oh, I want to think about money, and your brain just start doing it. No, you need to go buy some money books. You need to go find some financial YouTubers and watch that all day, read it all day. Now that's going to start getting rid of those old habits that you were doing during that time of the day. Whatever you was doing before, beating your meat, whatever you was doing. Now you reading this financial book, which is going to put that stuff in your head, which when you go out into the world and you act and you do things now, the thoughts that's in your head is going to come out in the real world, if y'all get what I'm saying. So now you did something different that changed how you thought, which that is going to continue to change your actions and behaviors. So you actually have to do different things. You have to go to different places. You have to have new experiences. Just start doing different shit. Just doing that will actually change how you think and how
Okay.
you do things, and that's it.
Is that everything on that topic? I didn't even mean to
Yeah, you
say
know,
that.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
Okay.
That's it. I'm gonna keep. If they want to find the rest, they watch the videos.
Okay. Okay, let's go on this one. I'll get this one real quick. How do you prevent a girl losing interest? I'm not gonna lie. If you actually want me to be completely honest, that shouldn't be your priority. I say don't make it your priority. I think a guy who goes into it like I've got to maintain it. I understand though. I do get what he's saying because there could be a girl that you really feel some type of way about and you want to keep her interest high. But I'd say, from my personal opinion, and I don't know if you agree or not, but the most success I've had is when I don't care about raising a girl's interest, or I'm not trying to prevent her losing interest. Because one thing I understand about females, and I learned this at quite an early age, you could be a great guy, right? Great looks, money on point. Some of these females, most of them, if I'm actually going to be quite honest, will still probably cheat on that guy if they're put in the right
A lot of them
situation.
will.
Yeah. The reason I didn't say most straight away, because they kind of have to be put in that situation, right? But I believe most, if they're put in that situation, they will cheat, right? There's plenty of times where a woman has cheated on a guy who's supposed to be a great guy on paper, right? She said she loved all these qualities about him, right?
Right.
So I say you shouldn't. That really shouldn't be your focus. But I don't know if you wanted to give a quick brief statement on
Yeah,
that.
I would second that. I don't think your focus should be, you know, how do you keep a girl from losing interest? But I actually have a video on why you lose the women that you really like, or why you keep losing them, because that's something I get. Like guys that say I'll have a girl for a little bit and then stuff will fizzle out. A lot of it, guys, is just like I said earlier. If y'all wasn't here earlier in the stream, you can't skip to the end of the fucking book. A lot of you guys want to skip chapters and skip stages with women. You want to rush. You ain't got no patience because you scared to be alone or by yourself. So you're trying to force this girl to be your wife, or, you know, you're trying to give her too much too fast. A lot of you guys, all you got to do is not be pussy whipped. All you got to do is not give her all your attention so quick, so soon. And that's the shit that's going to keep her fucking interest high. That's really it. Now, I think there's a balance, because like you said, you can do that and you will still lose girls. Just so y'all know, you will be indifferent. You won't give her all your time, whatever the case. You won't be pussy whipped. You'll still have a backbone and stand up for yourself and all of this stuff and keep her in check, and she'll still fucking leave. This is why you got to have that abundance mindset, guys, and not be like so focused on just this one girl. But the one way to keep women interested is basically by not ever giving them all the interest that they give you. It's as simple as that. The more you show it, the more likely they be ready to leave. It's stupid as hell, but that's what they do.
I'm actually not going to get this question. I'm going to get this question right. I'm going to come back to that question actually, because you kind of touched on. I don't know if you kind of touched on that. But let me get this question. Why? I'm going to come back to that question, by the way, for whoever asked that. Why women like being manipulated? Real quick.
That's a funny question.
I don't even know if that's a real quick one. I was going to say real quick, but I don't know if there's a real quick answer for that.
Go ahead, bro. I want to hear what you say.
Yeah, I say in short, I don't think women necessarily go into something like, yes, I just hope he manipulates me. I just hope he plays a game with me. I just hope he's a player and tells me what I want to hear. And I don't think they go into it like that. But I think a guy who's able to manipulate a woman, an average guy can't do that. So I think it says a lot about the guy who's able to do that. And I think they continue going for those type of men, because those type of men have a certain level of I don't care that I think is attractive to women. Whereas a guy who's like, I can't manipulate her, I can't tell her what she wants to hear, and then, you know, do another thing. I can't tell her that I'm this type of guy and then I'm dealing with these women. I think guys like that, you kind of care too much, which can kind of put off women. Even someone like, I'm not sure if you're aware of Ruby Rose, who's someone who has a voice that women actually look up to. She even said out of her own mouth that I like it when a guy doesn't really like me like that. So I think guys who are manipulating a woman, you have a certain level of I don't care that I think is attractive to women.
And the thing is, the reason why they like those type of guys is mainly because they can't control them. You know, so a woman, they'll say like, oh, you know, I want my guy to, you know, provide surety and make me feel like I'm the only one and stuff. But then when you do it, like I was saying before, those are the girls that, you know, they'll lose interest. But when you're like what you said, she can't really tell where you stand. You don't do the shit she wants you to do, right? She say, hey, answer the phone. You say, no, I'm doing something else. I'll hit you back later. And then later comes and you never hit her up. Like, that's the shit that drive her fucking crazy, right? It's like, it's like you're a game or something that she's trying to figure out. And once they figure you out 100%, then it's like they don't like you no more. It's so weird. It's so weird. They don't even, and I agree too when you said they don't even know it. Like when women hear the shit that I'm saying or the shit you saying, they'll tell us like, oh, you don't know, or that's not what we think. But then our results and we fucking bitches and getting these hoes and these girls, we like, are you sure that's not what y'all think? Because it looks so, you see what I'm saying? Like they don't even understand themselves, guys. Women is all over the place.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna get this question: why am I always a side
That's
dude?
a really good question.
Yeah, Colin Theodore, I'm not gonna lie. You actually need to be thankful you're the side dude, because nowadays, if you're the guy in a relationship with her, you're the guy she does not give a damn about. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be thankful you're the side dude. I think you're actually in a very good position being the side dude. Usually, the guys who receive a woman's full submission is the side dude. That the guys who maybe the husband or boyfriend, they get the boring sex. You know, it's the side dude who's coming sneaking around who gets the exciting sex. You know, she doesn't allow the husband to pull her hair, but she's allowing the side dude. So why are you the side dude? Probably because she sees you probably provide a lot of emotional stimulation for her, a lot of that type of that you provide emotional stimulation for her. Let me just say that. Like, that's why she probably doesn't see you as someone long term, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Usually the guys who have more beta qualities, they're the ones who are seen for more long term. So
I will say this: you can be both, though. You can be both. You can be the guy that gives her all the excitement and she wants a relationship from. So if you always so that's to get that, you gotta provide that emotional stimulation, like you were saying, but then also you need to have your shit together. So the reason why you decide, dude, bro, is because if you always decide, dude, you probably ain't stable. You probably don't got your money together, and you probably don't have this life that's set up that makes her feel like she can even deal with you long term. Because I have had situations like this, and I've seen guys had these situations that I've known. Like they don't, the woman won't take you that serious. She'll fuck you, right? And like you said, who cares? That might not be the worst thing ever. But if you do want some girl to actually take you serious long term, a lot of you guys got to get stable. You need to get a skill, a job, education, or something that's stable to get your money up, and then she'll take you more serious. That's
I'm not allowed to add to what you just said too, because you said a woman can want that emotional stimulation, but also want a relationship. And I'll say this, from what I've seen generally, when that woman takes that player off of the streets, she usually doesn't really feel the same type of way about him. It's crazy because women will say they want a guy who's loyal, who's this and that, and then they'll take the guy who's a player, F-boy, doing all that type of stuff off the streets, and it's not really the same. They don't really get that same type of emotional stimulation. But I'm gonna. Do you want to answer that, or you like have that might have?
I like what you said. I would say this. I think that's true, but not because you can't do it, but because most dudes don't know how to do both. I find that a lot of guys, they're either very successful in like playing like the whole field, right? They like the side dude, or they just sleeping around, but they fail in that area, and then they know how to have women, you know, in relationships, but then the women don't give them all the respect and the good sex that they want. You guys, I'm telling you, hands down, you can be both. You can be the alpha dude or whatever that she's also in a relationship with. But a lot of you guys think that, oh, that still means that, you know, once we're in this relationship, you're supposed to give her all your time. That's where it comes from. You still got to be on your fucking grind. You still got to be away and out the house. You still got to have your other shit you do. You still got to keep your social life. And guess what? You can be in a relationship with a woman, and that don't mean it's monogamous. You can set up relationships, and I've done this, and I do this. I set up polygynous relationships in the sense of, if we're going to be serious like that, I get to talk to other girls. You can't talk to no other dudes. And if I catch you, you done. I never said I was fair, guys. I'm not fair, but that's how I end up setting it up. And we'll be in a relationship, right? Meaning she gets consistency. She gets some sort of prioritization, right? But yet and still, I still never start simping. I still don't turn into the beta bitch that's, you know, I can't check her. I'm scared, you know, to lose her. The way to get what I'm talking about, to get both, is she got to know you'll walk away. That if the woman know you'll leave her ass, if she'll know you'll leave her ass and replace her, her pussy always gonna be soaked for you. I'm telling you, it's a lot of guys can't do both, because once they get in that relationship, they think to themselves, oh, that mean I gotta listen to what she want now and do everything she say. No, you don't. You just think you got to do that. So I agree that happens, but I don't think it's because it has to be that way. I just think a lot of guys, they with the girl, they like the side dude or whatever, and then they give it a relationship and they change everything about themselves, and that's what makes her lose that interest on that side. That's what I think.
So, guys, we're gonna wrap up in a couple minutes or so here, but I want to get the last couple of questions out. I've got one here specifically for me, then I believe there's one for you as well.
And we got to do this again, bro.
Yeah, for sure. This went really well. 2 hours 23 minutes as well.
And I feel like we could have kept going too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm for obviously they know because of my accent, but in the UK it's about to be 9 o'clock. I believe it's just the afternoon, so it's about to be. You know what I'm saying? It's damn near gonna go to the next day soon over here. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I definitely I'm enjoying this conversation. I would want to stay for long, but obviously, guys, there's a time difference, so it's a bit But
you good, bro.
Yeah. What do you guys think about when you're talking to girls and they start emotionally dumping on you with their stuff? I feel like women who do that use that to waste time on purpose. Now, let me say this real quick. I will say that it can be a bit of a concern when a woman's emotionally dumping on you, because sometimes they do that with the guys who are in the friend zone. So it can be a concern, but at the same time, I say get used to it, because if you are that kind of side dude who's just smashing these women, not taking them serious, a lot of times I've seen this in my personal experience, and I don't know about you specifically, but I've seen this with my personal experience. They'll kind of talk about the relationship that, the guy they wish they could be with, because women always do this. I can get any type of guy I want, but there's always that one guy who didn't want her back. They'll start trying to, if you're the guy hitting these women, playing that side dude type of role, you're just smashing them, don't care about them, they'll often open up to you about those type of men that they wish they could have had a relationship with. Maybe I don't want to, the reason I say maybe is because I don't want to necessarily use the word wish, but they kind of talk about what could have been with a guy that didn't want them, basically. So I say get used to that in the role of being a side dude. They're gonna talk to you about this guy. Because one thing as well, I've realized the guys who are the side dudes, women are very open with those type of men, because they know you've seen the slutty side of me. We're not taking each other serious. We're not taking each other serious, so they kind of open up to the side dude. So get used to it.
Yeah.
And then I've got one here for you. Please let us know when you guys start another stream. Yeah, for sure. This is quite a few people turned out too as well. They're very active in the comments. I'll say that they're very active in the comments. But yeah, we're gonna go with this last question right here for you, and then we're gonna wrap up after this. This right here for you.
How do you know when to escalate with the girl?
I'll come back to that, and I did, man.
Yeah, I forgot about it, so I'm happy you did. But so how do you know when to escalate? So first off, the best times to escalate is one-on-one. Guys, part of validating a woman is trying to initiate and do PDA and shit like this. I don't do that. Now, do I got girls, that hold my hand and try to grab on me? Yeah, I don't pull my hand back. I'm just saying I let her do it. You see what I'm saying? I let her do it. I don't initiate that, especially in the beginning stages. That's part of the indifference game, guys. It's like I'm not trying to, because see, when you're trying to touch a girl on a date or when you first hang out with her, what you're trying to do is trying to figure out, how much she likes you. It's like you're trying to gauge, what she'll let you do. That's not confidence. Maybe you'll get away with it sometimes, but a lot of you guys that do that, you'll find that the girl's interest in the way she's acting, it'll start to decline because she like, this dude, But the best time to initiate and to take to sex and escalate is one-on-one. So ask that girl back to your place, and when you get her in that isolated spot at your place, a hotel, I don't know, some of you guys is young, in the car or something at the back of the fucking movie theaters, I don't know. That's the time that you want to escalate, in that moment. That's the only time you do it. Unless you go and fuck. I always say this: if you can't fuck the girl where you're trying to escalate, then you shouldn't be doing it. You ain't go fuck her right there at the dinner table, so don't do it. Don't touch it.
And I'd also say, before we get out of here, if a woman puts you in a position where you're just one-on-one, just you and her, she probably is telling you escalating, basically woman needs. She's like, escalate. I've put you in a one-on-one situation. Do what you're supposed to do now, because they're not going to escalate like you said earlier on in the stream. But I say we're going to wrap it up right there. I say we should wrap it up right there.
I'm so happy you said that. I got to say this. I'm so happy you said that, bro. I do not find many YouTubers that teach that. Like, a lot of dudes, man, I deal with it all the time. They're like, we hung out, this and that, and then she lost interest. And then I'm like, did y'all get like isolated one-on-one? He like, yeah. I'm like, what'd you do? He like, Nothing. I was waiting for her sign to show. And I'm like, bro, that's the best you're gonna get, bro. If she's with you one-on-one, no woman wants to hang out with some dude that she's friends on one-on-one.
Yeah.
She'll hang out with you in a public setting. She is not coming to your house, sitting on your bed or your couch and laying with you unless she wants to be fucked. I want y'all to know that. So don't even be nervous. You already won. Just make the move. That's all you gotta do. You just make the move. She's gonna go with it, or she wouldn't even have put herself in that spot.
Yeah, for sure. But guys, I want to
Yeah.
say first thing first, I appreciate we've been here for 2 hours and 30 minutes. I appreciate every single one of you who spent your time here, listen to this conversation. I believe I'm actually glad I reached out to you and did this because it was important for me to basically, and I do believe what you said is true. I believe other handsome men games, YouTubers, whatever, I believe they should state why they're doing it, what their intention is, because my main thing was to come here from a point of honesty and say what I truly believe and keep it in objective reality as well. But I do believe other guys should come on here and basically share what they really believe about Handsome Men's Game. But I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning into this live. I think this was a great conversation. We actually realized we have a lot more agreements than we do disagreements, and I believe this is good in general for men. This live stream will be up if you guys want to watch this. But yeah, I appreciate every single one of you in here. Is there anything you wanted to say to leave out?
Yeah, man. Everybody that's watching on my end, make sure you go subscribe to the brother. It's fashion. It's Fashion Finesse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you like to be called? Because I know when we was talking, we were saying Michael and everything.
Well, my actual name is Michael, but
right.
I don't really mind. I don't really mind. If people don't know my name is Michael, then they'll just call me that. But I don't really mind, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, because there was a couple of times I was gonna say Michael, but then I'm like, well, do you go by Michael on here, or do you like Fashion? But yeah, everybody go subscribe to him. For everybody on his side, again, my name's Young and Disciplined. Everybody call me YND, Mr. No Ass Left Behind. If you're trying to clean up and leave no ass left behind, you get the phone number you want to smash. I'm the dude to watch because I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. But yeah, that's it. I appreciate you hitting me up, bro, and us doing this. We got to do this another time. This was great. Sure. I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah, and once again, vice versa, guys, make sure to subscribe to YND. He's on the come up. He's consistent. He's given practical advice and on what to do to be successful with women. And I believe as well with this setup as well, we can react to live content as well. So we should definitely do that, where we react to some live content together for the people in here and give our takes on some live content as well. But I appreciate this. I'm going to hit you up in the DMs, but I appreciate every single one of you once again. And this has been a great stream. I appreciate every single one of you, and take care of yourselves. I'm going to hit you up in the DM.
All right, bro. All right.
All right.
Peace.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.